couple of Thursday nights. He actually, the reason he wanted to try it was because Fate was so easy to GM in. Because he had tried in 4E and like some older D&Ds, and every time it was just too much for him. And with Fate, he was like, I feel like I can GM this, and he's been doing a great job. So if you're looking for ease of GMing, Fate definitely fulfills that.
It's remember Matt, I would tell you that it took a lot of prep. It seemed like it took a lot more prep for me. Well, that's because I was trying to do too much, thinking that I had to be back in my, D&D style of GM prepping and everything like that. It's at the moment that I realized that, okay, I have a story. I know where the story's going, what the whole story's about. All I got to do is just write my questions down that I send, that I know you guys, you guys to answer in each session. And that's it. That's all I got to do. And then let you guys just do your thing. There's a whole bunch of Fate mechanics in GMing that I'm just barely learning, and also getting my mind around and getting my mind off of the old D&D railroad style of DMing, I call it. But actually, you kind of get to a moment and just kind of like, oh, that totally makes sense why they're doing it, because it is a narrative book style way of GMing. So if you got a story,
when I prepared for a session, like there'd be times where I'd have 3 pages of notes. I always handwrite my notes, but it wasn't like railroad tracks. It was literally like, I didn't write it in the form of the questions. I was like, it's not Jeopardy. It doesn't matter how I phrase it. But ultimately, it was a series of sub-questions to the overarching question. And there'd be times where I would use almost everything in my notes for that session. There'd be times where I'd use like maybe half a page collectively from all the stuff, and all the rest of it just got, rolled over to next session or whatever,
Yeah. Yep.
You have to have the ability to walk away from something. When you can't walk away from it, you ultimately end up building a railroad to it.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
No, that makes sense.
Mute button. Mute button. Mute button.
I do not have one.
I know.
I have a little flicker thing, a little clicker.
Yeah. I for the life of me could not get my Logitech G930 headphones to stay connected. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I could get them to stay connected, and I could get them to keep the side tone up and everything, but every once in a while, for whatever reason or for however it happened, there would be a Wi-Fi interference or something, or Bluetooth interference or something that would just cause the whole headset just to reset. And I couldn't get it for the life of me to stay constant. Sometimes I'd get it and it would go for hours. I'd be like wearing these headphones for hours, testing them. And then sometimes it would be like, they're just cutting off all the time. So, and the reason why I bring all that up is because you talked about the little mute button. And it was nice on my little wireless headsets because I had the little mute button there. I could just push and it would, work great. But, oh, man, they were great headsets. Couldn't get it to stay on. And as doing a whole bunch of research on wireless headsets, the technology is just not there yet. It really, really isn't. So.
Well, that's too bad.
That's just too bad. All right, let's get over to the game table here. All right. Anyway, no, that'd be cool, Matt. If you want to, jump in and try your hand at GMing, I suggest it, especially if you got a story. If you got a cool story that you have planned out as a book, man, that would be fun to play. But
I I don't know. It's something been thrown around for about 10, 15 years.
Gotcha. One of those things you work on, then you come back to, you drop it, work on it again,
That's
drop it.
exactly it. Yeah.
Yep, yep. But you still got the gist of the story in your head, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
No, no, that'd be totally cool because then me and Voth can have some characters that can appear in the next chapter of your book. You
There you
know,
go.
that could be the super. His Dynamite. His name is Dynamite. He's a super villain that
the
just likes going around and blowing everything up.
the beauty of Fate is that it's like crowdsourcing writing.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can have
yep,
characters develop without you having to create them.
yeah. Collaborative. All
Yeah,
right, should we get rolling? We are
absolutely.
7:33, which is 8:33 your guys' time.
Yeah,
And no cutouts,
we're
Voth.
behind.
All your connections good this week, and
It sounds much better this week. Thank
okay,
God.
good. I'm
Last week
hoping
was torture.
it was. It really was. It was a good session last week. I felt pretty good about that, and yeah, the only one problem was the cutouts. Is when I'd be presenting a whole bunch of information, and all of a sudden Voth would be like, "Well, did she hear this, or did she know this, or did she say that?" I was like, "I just told you." It's like, sorry, I'm cutting out. Anywho, all right. Quick review, as quick as I can. Long-winded Master MJ here. Session 5 review. Many people from Lolo have been giving something called have been given something called the gift from the goddess Gehenna by her priestesses. I've
Oh,
kind
it's
of
priestesses?
Yeah, I've added some more information in here because I figured when you guys would have gone around and talked with more of the people around the town or your other friends, that a lot of this information would have come up. So I'm going to give it to you now just so you have it to move forward. Anyway, so you found out that these priestesses were the ones that caused they're basically functioning as, gosh, I don't know what the word would be, conduits from the goddess Gehenna.
Surrogates?
Surrogates, that's a good one too. Yeah, but basically, the power is given through the goddess, and then the priestesses are ones that spreads the power to the world. So obviously, you figure out that there was a priestess that was in the center of town that did the black smoke thing to spread the effect out across the whole city. And then obviously there is a lot of these priestesses because of this effect was happening all across the world. Anyway, so yes, the gift was given by it was given from the goddess Gehenna and then by her priestesses. They were the conduit. The people infused are emotionless, overly helpful, and seem to be aging towards their physical prime age. That's something that you had noticed with Carlos when you were looking at him. And as things move along here, you're going to be seeing them moving towards their prime age. Now, do you understand what I mean by prime age?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like Carlos was a 19-year-old. He's not, getting younger. He's actually getting older. And, it seems like their body, like they're becoming fitness gurus. Like they're becoming Voth, personal trainers that are all, buff and in great health and great fitness. And, they're just cut and they're becoming very, 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 what's the word?
I have not been fit and cut in a couple of years now.
Really?
After so many kids, it's just I can't work out the way I used to.
That's true. There's just not enough time. No, but I mean, like, back when your personal trainer days and stuff like that, to where you you're always in the gym and doing that kind of stuff. Your body becomes real fit and very, very strong. And there seems to be a certain peak to that you can do, because at a certain age, your body starts waning off of all that.
About
Because
30.
you're dying. Yep. It rose about 30. My peak was about 31, and then pretty much no matter how much I worked out, it would just kind of taper from there back down.
Yeah.
So I gave up.
Mine was like when I was 20.
The early 30s.
Matt was 20. Anyway, so that's what they're doing. They seem to be, so the older people are moving down towards that age, and the younger people are moving up towards that age. So they're all becoming, their physical features are still staying the same, the way they look, but they just seem to be getting older or seem to be getting younger. The infused are claiming that James and Jason are their princes, and that their father as a king. So they claim you guys as their princes, and that your father is the king. After talking to Mrs. McKinney, she explained that she had not seen David and Dee, but would really like her daughter to receive the gift. Thus, finding out that David and Dee escaped, thus you guys found out that David and Dee escaped the black smoke attack or effect that had infused everybody. Upon contacting David and Dee, through that whole scene that went out there, you set up a plan to procure them and bring them back to the Lambert home. After visiting with the Atkins family, after visiting with the Bruno family, they offered you the use of actually gave you the off-road recon truck. And then you went down and talked to Jonathan, and he explained that his family had a weapon stash that they hadn't turned over to the king yet. And so then you guys had set plans to go with Jonathan the next day after this night to go on a long road trip and acquire that stash of weapons. At the same time, these were while you guys were all going around making your rounds, checking on your friends and stuff. You talked to Mrs. Jones too, who shared to you guys that there's going to be a gift giving assembly at the Lolo K through 8 school, the field out there, kind of the athletics field out there, in a couple days from now. After visiting with all your friends, James and Jason find out that all of them are infused except for Dee and David, and possibly Tracy and Henry Whalen. You didn't have a chance to see Tracy, so you don't know for sure, but you did see Henry Whalen, and he was just weird, wearing his sunglasses again in the middle of the day, or whenever you guys went over there and saw him. And he was acting with emotion and was not acting like the blank slate of all the other infused that that you guys had run into. Then you had a moment where you guys went back for the night, and you talked with your mother, Jelena, and she explained to you guys about the situation surrounding her getting pregnant with you guys, and how she doesn't know who your guys' father is, but she kind of explained to you the situation around, the time before she ended up getting pregnant. And then you guys received a call from the Atkins family notifying you guys, because you had been going around town and telling everybody to inform you if they run into anybody who has not been infused yet, to make sure that they contact you and let you know about them, so that you guys can do whatever you guys plan to do with all that. Well, the Atkins did find somebody. They ended up finding and catching David Gates. Also tried to catch Dee, but she was able to escape and not be caught by the Atkins. And the Atkins are holding David at their home, and they had called you, and now they're just waiting for you to come get him. Well, at the same time that all happened, Dee seemed to come across, day turned into night, and Dee obviously seemed to come across this creature at some point with this long dangly tongue. What was the name you gave it, Voth? The Pleaser?
The Pleaser?
The Pleaser. And so you guys kind of came into this scene where obviously a conflict is going to be starting, because just like Vati had said, that there is this creature is a mindless creature. It's not something you can rationalize with or do any sort of negotiations to procure Dee's release. So it's just basically kill this thing. All right, that's the review, and that's where we're at. Now, there are a couple changes I want to quickly go through before we start. You'll notice the aspects. Operation Alamo, that was the aspect of your guys' plan with your family. If something hits the fan, which it's kind of a plan that's in place for you guys. So you guys can say, well, we discussed this in the plan, and invoke that aspect that's in play. Also, you do have the aspect of the off-road recon truck, which is in play too. You do have the boost that's still out there if something is not right. Now, you got that boost off of, what was that?
Some perception check I did.
Yep, a perception check. So it's
notice.
It's a notice check. So that would have to be probably used something along those lines, around noticing something or something like that. But we'll figure it out. Just if it makes sense, it's great. Then you guys had a cost that was placed against you of the late night rendezvous. And that's a boost that's out there that I can actually invoke, and you guys can invoke too if you would like, but it would come at a cost to you guys. Now, down below those are 3 of basically situational aspects that are meant to be overcome. So, sometimes there's situational aspects that become obstacles that the characters need to overcome. Well, those are the 3 obstacles you guys have kind of created yourself through the gameplay. That I don't really want to call them, they're like quests, but they are obstacles that are in effect. So one being in the D&D procuring plan. That one we had a different name for it, but I changed it because that just sounded a little bit better. Because you guys are actually going to try to acquire David and Dee and bring them back before something bad happens. So the David and Dee and David procuring plan. So that is a situational aspect that needs to be overcome. Same thing there when you were talking to Jonathan, acquire the Holtz weapon stash. That was a situational aspect that needs to be overcome. Now, if you don't want to overcome any of these, then you just, they just would go away or something like that. So, but I just put them out there because this is something that you guys kind of came up with as you were, playing along and stuff like that, and aspects were created, and that's kind of how they're functioning. And the last one is the King's Public Assembly. So that's all stuff we've reviewed through the review. But I just kind of wanted to explain that to you before we get started. That's what they are. Now let's get down to the zone. The current zone that you guys are currently in. Any questions before we keep going?
Nope.
I don't think so.
How do you like those zone cards? Pretty cool, huh?
They look pretty good.
They're pretty
Intersection,
good.
South Street.
Yep. I did a little work on them to kind of make them a little more universal so that I can make them go. But yeah, Voth, I did read your stuff in the forums about zones and how to use them and keeping things to a minimum, and it totally makes sense in certain situations. So,
yep.
Anyway, we are dealing with 2 zones here right now. The first one is the intersection, which D is at, and being dragged. And now let me look back up here. The way she's being dragged, so you guys are, let me go back up here to kind of show you where you're currently at. You're currently at the green pin. At that intersection up there off Highway 93. And you are, you had been driving up to that spot there, and then you notice this thing walking, and then it was dragging something, and it seems to be heading in a sort of a southwest direction at that intersection. And it's, you know, it's heading southwest, but it's not so much more heading south, it's more heading west than it is heading south. When you guys noticed it. And then you noticed
it's heading more west than south.
It's heading, I'm saying it's heading southwest, but it seems to be more heading in the westerly direction of that southwest. Does that make sense? So I'll just do this. It's here, and look at my little mappy thing. It seems to be kind of heading this direction.
Towards the Wayland house?
It seems to be heading kind of like that. Or it could be heading like that. But it's heading kind of in that sort of a direction. So if we drew a line, the way it's all heading, it would be like that. So the three homes it would kind of be going past would be the Hornberg's, where that's Corlana's apartment complex, the Wayland house, and the Morgan house. But so that's the direction that you see that this creature, and let's populate that creature again so you guys can see it. See it now. Oh, you there?
Oh yeah, I must have got booted for a second there.
Oh, that's weird. Anyway, so this is the little creature you guys are seeing. And the aspects are on it where it's a male. It's medium, slender, violent, human-like creature. Coughs and emits smoke. Long, dangly tongue with bloody fingers. So that is what you're dealing with right now.
All right. So at the end of the session last week, I was in the process of diving out of the truck with a shotgun.
Yes.
And I had racked it and was preparing to do something.
Yep.
Something rash.
You were jumping out of the truck. So, for instance...
And then, if I remember correctly, Jason decided, fuck D, and he was just going to try to run them over.
I don't know that he decided that.
No.
He had thought that was an option.
Yep. I do have something else to compel Matt, to compel Jason in mind. But let's first get back to James, okay? So you've jumped out of this truck, and you've racked around. Now with the zone rules, you can move from one zone to another zone if there's nothing impeding you. Well, there is nothing impeding you at the spot that you're at right now from jumping out of the truck, which obviously you're jumping out of the right-hand side of the truck. This thing is moving from top right corner to top left corner. So if you want, I'd say, because I'm actually treating that as your first action in the round, that you could actually move up into the zone in that intersection where this thing and D are at, if James wants to. But that
I can hop over there?
Yeah, you can hop up there if you want, because you can move one zone, without any cost to your turn actions or anything like that. And
I can't move him.
Oh yeah, I got him. I just do you want to do that? I can actually give you guys
basically
permission.
my plan was to jump out, and run towards the creature with my shotgun, and I'm going to put the gun up to his tongue and pull the trigger.
Okay. So let's approach the pulling of the trigger on your next turn. How's that?
Okay, so I'm just out and running towards it.
Yep. I'm considering your first action in this conflict to be you jumping out of the truck and then moving up into the zone where they're at.
Okay.
So go ahead and we'll stick you up there. So you're now up in the zone with we'll call him the grappler in D. And you're moving to get yourself into a position to shoot his tongue, to blow his tongue off. Okay? But as now you're moving up in there, you're going to notice he kind of catches sight of you. And what you see in his eyes is that it wants to attack you. That it's something that wants to attack you. So this is what you're kind of noticing as you're moving in there. Okay.
It's not friendly.
It's not friendly. Definitely not. It's exactly the way that you were thinking about it. That it is actually not really a mindless creature, but it's just a violent creature that wants to do bad things. But why it hasn't?
Can I use this turn to create an advantage for me as I'm running over there?
Yeah,
I would like to do something along the lines of closing the gap the creature can properly react to. So I was thinking like an athletics roll.
Okay, so closing the gap, so you're kind of in the position.
Yeah.
Close to it, so you're in position. So your next action would be to fire, I guess.
I'm creating an advantage so that mechanically I'll get obviously the +2, but the idea is that because I'm a football player who's fast and agile, I want to basically position into like a flanking position where he can't really react to me fast enough before I'm right up on him.
Oh, okay. So basically something like surprise.
Not so much surprise. He does have a human being dragged by a tongue. If I come up on his blind side, he can't turn past his own tongue that's trailing from his mouth past his hip, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, let me
like coming up on his restricted side.
Yes. So he is walking with his left shoulder kind of facing towards you, and then he's got his tongue coming out of his mouth, going down underneath his right armpit, and it goes down to the ground from there. Well, not quite down to the ground, but it's around Dee's ankle, and her leg is kind of sticking up a little bit as it's dragging her along in that southwest direction. And so there is a little bit of a gap in between its body and Dee's leg. You're going to have to be pretty darn close to aim and just hit this tongue to shoot it.
Well, I
not risk actually
literally want
D.
to. I want to literally run around him in a position coming up from his restricted side in a way that I wouldn't have her in the line of sight.
Okay, so you're wanting to get, as he's kind of heading in that southwesterly direction, you're kind of wanting to approach him from a southeast direction then, right? And intersect him that way?
Don't know about all the directions because I'm too dyslexic to track all that crap. What I'm saying is he has the tongue side that's restricted. I want to run to that tongue side and point the gun away from D. It's basically, I want to move up on him in a way that he can't properly react to me, swing up on him as close as possible, and shoot him in the tongue.
Okay. And you want to use your athletic ability to do this quickly, and then creating a boost? Is that what it is? Or are you just creating a
I'd be
situational aspect?
when you create an advantage. When you create an advantage, you create an aspect. If you succeed, you get 1 boost. If you succeed with style, you get 2
Oh, that's right.
boosts.
Okay, great.
And then as soon as the aspect is no longer applicable, it goes away.
Okay. I will say now, but you still, if you tie or succeed by 2, right? You still just create the aspect, but you don't get a boost upon it, right? Is that how it works? If I remember it
I
correctly.
can look at ties real quick. I'll just grab my book. Create advantage.
Yeah, actions. Here we go. The 4 actions. Okay. When you fail, you don't create an aspect. When you tie, you get a boost instead of a when you tie, you get a
that's
boost.
right.
Yeah. So you are trying to create a boost then.
Well, I'm trying to create a situational aspect. If I tie, I just create a boost.
Yeah, which is really weird. And then you create a situational aspect with 1 free invoke. And then when you succeed with style, you create it with 2 invokes.
2 free invokes, yep.
Okay, so I thought a boost was an invoke anyway.
Yeah, a boost is temporary. So basically, if I tied, I would create the boost. And then as soon as I use it, it goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I create the aspect of flanking, that would basically mean that I continue to move in his weak spot. As he tries to round on me, I continue to circle strafe him. So the aspect would continue until it reached a point where the aspect no longer made any sense to continue. For instance, if I were to shoot his tongue off and sever the thing that's limiting him, you could say that this aspect is no longer applicable.
Gotcha. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So
a boost goes away after its first use.
I understand what you're going to do now. So I'm going to put this since you are jumping out of the truck and moving into the zone and then positioning yourself in this spot to be able to, shoot this at the right spot at that little gap in between D's leg and this thing's tongue. We're going to put the obstacle.
I'm shooting closer to his torso. I'm not aiming near her foot. I'm aiming towards his, near his chin area.
So you're going to kind of hit his arm or his torso a little bit to where the tongue is coming out there. Okay, perfect.
I'm hoping to put the gun flush up to the tongue and pull the trigger and blow it off.
Okay.
I'm not scared to get close to this guy. I'm a football player.
Yeah, exactly. To do all that, we're going to put it in an obstacle 3 to be able to create that advantage using your athletics.
Alrighty.
Nice.
Ooh. Okay, so you're going to be able to create the aspect with 1 free.
You don't have the auto. You don't have the auto pop up. This is the problem with not having the auto pop up, because I was going to put in my +3 to guarantee it.
Okay, which one was that?
But my
your stunt?
my stunt juke.
Oh,
since you're fasted out, you're +3 to athletics rolls once per scene before rolling the dice. And
before
I was going to use it, so that would technically be an 8, but I forgot the pop-up. You'd taken it out, so I just rolled it. So now I don't even really need it. So it's up to you how you want to roll it. Do you want me to make it a +3 and have 2 free invokes on it?
I'll go ahead and let you
retcon that. Or do you want me to
that.
save it?
Usually what I'll say, because why I actually changed it so that pop-up doesn't come up now is because we have these things called before rolling dice. So I want you to say that, I'm going to use juke before you hit your button to roll that dice. And then we can just add the +3 on
I
there.
understand.
It's not easy math.
I understand. That's just my habit, that I was just going to hit +3 in the little box and just be like, I used juke.
Yeah. So just for going forward, just say, okay, I'm going to use juke, and here's my roll.
Okay. Well, then I did intend to use juke. So
Okay. So you will. I'll let you decide at this time if you want to use it or not use it. So you can either create a situal aspect with one free invoke,
situation.
a situation. You can.
Well, I kind of feel bad because meta style, I want to back out of it and say no, I'm not going to use it, I could use it later.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go ahead and use it because I feel dirty.
I just opened up my skills. Who added this to my skills?
Not me. Can you create me an aspect, MJ?
Yeah.
That I can populate? Where do I get those from?
Okay, I'll get it here. What the aspect is going to be a situational one, right? So
yeah, just toss it down here by Bloody Dragon.
And then what would you like to name it? And we'll put one. Oh, you're going to use your juke, so there's going to be 2 free invokes on there.
There we go.
Flanking fighter, attack, go. Okay, cool. We'll kind of understand what it means because of your description of it all. That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
So you are in perfect position to pull the trigger and just blow this guy's tongue off. But you do know that as you got yourself into that position, he does notice you now. And he kind of turns his head and gives you that kind of, that creature violent look. And you can definitely tell that he's going to attack.
Are we doing popcorn initiative?
Not at this point. At this point, I am going to compel Jason.
Oh, dear.
Jason, you have an aspect that's called Mr. Mind Games Has a Taste for Vengeance. Now, you're seeing D is on the ground, hurt, and in trouble. And with your notice that you have, which is at, what is it?
2.
Yeah, you have you have a fair notice. You're able to see that D has a cut, like a claw cut, in her hand going down into her wrist. She's been cut pretty deeply, and that is where all this blood is coming out. So Dee's in really trouble here. She's in a lot of trouble. She's risking death now. So you would probably come to the conclusion that as she encountered this thing, this grappler, that obviously it lashed out with its tongue, grabbed a hold of her, pulled her in, and then clawed at her. And as she was, getting clawed at, she put her hands up to kind of block, and one of the claws caught her palm and then raked down into her arm, thus causing her to start really, really bleeding a lot. Well, it raked into her like that, and then you can also notice that she got slammed in the head with its hands too. So it hit her, it cut her, and then hit her and knocked her unconscious. Now, the idea of this creature doing this to your best friend D is just produced you into kind of a revenge rage. And upon seeing all this, you think in your mind, like, first thing that comes to your mind, I got to get the rifle and I got to blow its head off, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you're going to realize...
Can I interject real quick?
Sure.
I would personally do the compel. Like you're starting to tell him what he's thinking.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
keep going.
We lose him?
Did he cut out?
That I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. We got your back.
Okay, so I wouldn't tell him what he's thinking. I would just tell him what he sees. Her hand is clawed, someone who you have shown to care about greatly in the past. This creature obviously wounded her, and she's in danger. How does your character react to this? And then you have basically a fate point that says you have to do something cool, And
Okay.
that's what the fate point. Slipping him the fate point lets him know that he has to do something that's not in his best interest, more or less.
Right.
You know
But
what I'm
don't you
saying?
usually compel that best interest?
Um, well, like let's take the doctor for instance. You was your idea to throw him out. I just compelled it. Or let's take the who Matt wanted
Mm-hmm.
to turn around and rest, but I said, "Oh, but you love adventure. You would keep going, wouldn't you?" And he's like, "Oh, I guess I would." And I gave him the fate point. He kept
Oh,
going,
okay.
but you
Because
wouldn't.
it's
You
not
don't
based off
want
of any
to
of his aspects.
create.
Yeah. Okay.
It was based off his aspect that he was adventurous. His
Right.
aspect said he was adventurous. This
Right.
one, he has a taste for vengeance, and because the aspect says he has a taste for vengeance,
Yeah.
and the character is
So
hurt,
don't
it's
justify
implicit.
in their mind and let them make the what they want to do then.
No, you do justify. You justify that he wants vengeance on this creature, and then
Yes.
you let him determine how he reacts poorly to his desire for vengeance. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You're telling him you should grab the rifle and all this stuff. He might just not even think about the rifle and run over there and punch it. Let him create his own bad situation, because we know Matt is the type of player to do what's fun
Right.
meta stuff.
Okay.
So
Okay.
just leave it at that is
Okay.
all I'm saying.
Okay. So instead of, because what I was going to go, the whole thing was going to be like, well, you realize that pulling out the rifle, you're not going to have enough time because Dee's in a serious condition here. And I was going to compel him that he's going to try to run over, that he thinks his driving skills are good enough to where he can just run over the creature himself, is what I was trying to get at.
Here would be
And that's where
the way I would spin it though.
okay, go ahead.
Tell him that you have this intense, strong desire for vengeance,
Mm-hmm.
and then if he chooses to go for the rifle, then have the creature potentially hurt her in some way, and then he could take mental stress for not reacting fast enough versus running over and potentially
Oh,
physically hurting D. You know what I mean?
okay.
You're
Exactly.
thinking of one outcome.
Right.
Just create the situation and let the
Allow for
manifold
multiple
possibility
outcomes.
unfold before you.
Ah, okay.
Right.
Okay. Good. Thanks, Voth. I needed that. Okay. So anyway, that's what Jason is feeling. He's feeling she's in deep trouble, and you want to extract revenge upon this creature for what it's done to D. What do you want to do?
Oh, I'll hit it with the car. That sounds fun.
See, that's what I was saying. You don't have to paint him
Yeah.
into a corner.
I
He
don't have to
will
paint
do.
into it. Right. Let him kind of do his own thing. Well, yeah. I mean, is that the best?
Right.
Is that the best thing you could come up with, or are you just kind of following what I was thinking?
It's I mean, that was kind of my idea from last session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jokingly.
Exactly.
um,
That was his idea.
Yeah.
It's
Because
I mean,
you're an average driver, which basically you're the best driver in your family out of everybody. So
At
and it's-
average.
at average.
God.
Yeah. Okay. So great. So you're gonna go ahead and tell me what you want to do.
so I know James had jumped up and was getting kind of closer there,
Right.
but he's not so close that I'd be in danger of hitting him yet, right?
I would be standing sort
he's in
of
position.
behind it to the left or something by D. So if you're not hitting D, you're not hitting me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me kind of paint the scene what you're seeing right now, because where James is at, James, you wouldn't have crossed in front of the creature. You crossed kind of coming into the flanking position because of your aspect you created. So basically, they're basically standing like this. We'll put it out here. Here's the creature. Here's D being drug. And then here is James. Let me bring him to the front. James is like right here. It's going to blast this way onto the creature. Instead of trying to blast this way, severing the tongue, he's going to blast closer to the creature this way. So you can see his rifle is faced in that way that he wants to shoot this thing.
So I will try to come this way and just like if I'm driving
Clip
this
it.
direction, just hit the creature with like my right headlight.
Okay.
So like just
Kinda-
not like full on, just right in the middle.
Okay. You're just going to hit the gas and cut it to try to catch it more in its shoulder and its chest, kind of doing sort of a arcing maneuver, would you say? Hello? Hello?
I think he might have dropped again.
Oh, okay. All right, let me put the creatures back. I think we understand what we're kind of doing now. Yeah, we'll give him a second to come back.
Yeah,
no, I
and I mean
kinda
it's
see
sort of the mind gray area. You have to
Uh-huh.
let those exist to a certain degree
Yeah,
because that's what the zones are for, just letting things unfold. If he bombs the roll, he somehow hurts her. If he succeeds in the roll, he doesn't. And it's part of the collective theater of the mind for people to sort of interpret it as it is.
exactly.
The going
Well,
through all the minutia and measuring everything out is kind of putting us back on a grid and drawing the combat out. You see what I'm saying?
exactly. And that's where I kind of had my disconnect because this is my first conflict running. Yep. Oh, there you are.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I got kicked off on the computer, so I'm on my phone now.
Oh, okay. That's
know what's
weird that it
going
keeps
on.
dropping
All
from
right.
your computer. Okay. Yeah, so no, I can see I can foresee several possible outcomes to this this whole new reaction now. Okay, so James is going to go in and you're going to hit the gas and then blare on in there with the off-road recon truck. Right?
Yeah.
Moving yourself up in the zone, and then you want to kind of try to clip it. Okay, so there's you want to kind of try to clip the creature in a way that you're going to hit it to kind of knock it off to the west side, I guess.
What direction am I coming from?
You are on. Okay, so you have your 2 lanes or 3 or 4 lanes, whatever, on the highway.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're in the one left lane of the northbound traffic, and then when you stopped before the intersection, you saw that the creature was kind of coming across the street that way. So you're going to kind of have to turn and cross into so to say oncoming traffic lanes to hit this thing in a certain angle. So you're going to have to kind of make an arc to turn around and try to just hit just the creature.
Sounds like no problem.
Yep. Oh, and I need to give you a fate point too. Okay. So,
Sounds good.
Since you're moving up into this next zone with the car and moving at a quick speed, because it's going to take, you have to act quick because of, the situation and the grappler moving, and then also the close proximity of both James and James and D to this creature. You're going to be looking at an obstacle 4 to execute that drive to hit that creature exactly as you're talking.
Well, that doesn't sound very
And
good.
you did flip him the bird, so that was really good. You had a legendary +8 on flipping him the
Do
bird.
I get a
So that was
bonus for flipping the bird?
only if James does a legendary. What is it?
Slaughter.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll your legendary slaughter, James.
I'm gonna be
All right, let's see. Slaughtered in movies.
Yeah, I got bored one night. Sorry.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Okay, go ahead with
Boobies.
your drive. Obstacle 4.
All right. And I'm gonna be
Obstacle 4 to hit him.
Obstacle 4. He's
Jeez.
moving quickly.
Yeesh.
He's
I'm gonna be yelling like Ripley from the old
Aliens movie. Get away from her, you bitch.
And both
Oh,
James,
jeez.
oh boy.
We
Well, good thing I have 2 fate points now.
That's true. Plus, you do remember your boosts.
technically. Oh,
There
right.
isn't
He
really
did have
anything.
two.
Yeah, what do I get from the boost?
Well, the
I don't know that I
flanking
get anything.
fighting, the flanking fighting attack go. Could he invoke off that? Yeah, because that's a situational aspect. He could invoke off that, couldn't he, Voth?
I mean, we're kind
In
of flanking.
there's two things.
Mm-hmm.
First off, um, when someone creates an aspect, it's sort of understood that it's theirs, and you like ask permission. Oh, can I use your thing? Almost always people say yes because it's kind of dickish to say no. But that being said, it also has to make sense.
Yeah, I would
So
not have had time to be like, oh, you distract him while I hit him with this car.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that cause that
I'm
situational
struggling to
aspect
see
was
how
made. Yeah.
Well, you did notice.
I'm struggling to see how it makes sense that me running around the guy makes it easier for you to hit the guy and not me, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think it would make it
Well,
easier to not hit you, but it might make it easier for him. Like, he wouldn't dodge it since MJ had said that he had noticed you and it looked like he was going to attack me. So he might
right.
not be paying attention to me. That
Okay.
being said, I still might not
If he's
be driving in the
tracking
right
me and it
location.
potentially could make it easier for you to hit him, you could. I mean, hitting someone with a car is a lot of damage. Like, I don't know how MJ will spin it, but in the past, the GM gave the car 5 shifts of damage and like plowed an ogre into a wall with a sedan. It was pretty awesome.
Right.
Uh,
Now, the way I'm picturing it in my theater of the mind here, James moving into this whole situation has made this more difficult for Jason to actually perform this
right.
maneuver.
That was
Though,
part of what got it up to an obstacle 4.
yeah. But now you got to remember that you can use your fate point and you can also invoke adrenaline rush or any other aspects that you see on the table right now.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do a fate point and adrenaline rush.
Okay, because you're probably to get it up to tie, you're going to have to spend at least 2 fate points, unless you just want to get it up and make it a 2 shift in favor of what bad things could happen.
So I think
Can he do precise snipe with the truck?
I don't know. Let me look.
that'd be pretty awesome.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, it's a long range weapon. No, you couldn't do it because you got to declare it before rolling dice.
Yeah. No, I think I'm gonna do 2 fate points.
Okay.
One is gonna be shrink until the brink. Like, this is normally I'm pretty quiet, unassuming, but I'm driving a car at a crazy monster who's holding my best friend next to my twin brother.
Great.
I think that's a little out there. Yelling, "Get away from her, you bitch!"
Yep.
So that's 1 fate point, and then I think probably just adrenaline rush for the other one is something like, this is obviously a crazy situation that
Yep.
is a little out of the ordinary.
Kind of your the way I guess I would picture it is that you probably had the adrenaline rush first, which was when you made the decision that you were going to make this maneuver with the off-road recon truck, that you had the adrenaline rush and then did it that way, and then the
It's
shrink
definitely
from the
less
brink.
of a, oh, I think I should hit it with the truck, and just instinct my foot hits the pedal and go straight towards it.
Exactly. Okay, go ahead and drop your. Did you drop them out there?
Yeah.
Where'd they go? Oh, they're way up at the top. Okay, got them. Cool. All right. So you are going to succeed at a minor cost. So basically, you come into this area here and you perform your maneuver quite well, but you didn't plan for the gravel that is sitting upon the road.
Okay.
And as you hit this grappler, you hit him perfectly in the spot where you needed to hit him, and it knocks this thing about 15 feet. And luckily, it releases D's its grip on D as it feels the strike of the truck.
I sent D flying across the road.
Yeah. You send D. But now the truck has got itself into a tailspin. Is that what you call it? Because of the gravel that's on the road. And the bed of the truck, or the back end of the truck, is now heading towards both James and D.
Yeah, you got to be kidding me.
And the
and
then the
Jason
grappler,
is the only survivor.
No. Yeah, that's right. And the grappler, you see him hit as the truck hits him, and you knock him 15 feet, and he kind of just, reels his tongue back into his mouth so it's not hanging out anymore. And he's hits the ground and he rolls a couple times. And then you see him kind of lay on the ground there for a second. But then all of a sudden you see the head kind of twist and move up. And then you see it turn and stand back up. And now... Yes.
If it's my turn,
yes,
I would argue that all that standing up didn't happen because I have a trouble that says don't think, just get the job done. And in my twisted logic, the job is to get this thing killed or disabled. And I totally disregard D laying on the ground and just balls to the wall chase this creature as he goes ragdolling through the
Oh, really?
Straddling him with the shotgun to his face.
Wait a second. Let me before you decide to do all that, let me paint the scene of actually what's happening. The recon's
I know. D's probably going to get ran over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. And I'm saying, even though it's not in our best interest, because I have a trouble that says don't think,
just get the
job done. I'm not thinking about her. So essentially I'm asking for a fate point to do something that's not in our
I'm
best.
definitely going to give you one because it's going to be bad. Okay.
And also, secretly, I can't wait to see the mental anguish that Jason goes through.
Great. That's great. Well, see, and I had a different compel I had in mind for you at that time, but, that's pretty good. So, okay. Well, the fate point's out there.
In the meta stats, I'm working kind of to maintain.
Yeah. What'd you say, Matt?
I posted a video there. It's kind of how I'm envisioning this going down.
Oh, no. Let's see.
In the meta sense, mechanics-wise, I'm trying to maintain the flanker fighter attack
from red
so that I could really... this guy.
That's awesome. Sorry, go ahead, Voth.
I was saying, in the meta sense, I'm trying to maintain my flanker fighter aspect that I created so I could really dump on it and go.
And do some serious damage too. Okay. So,
yeah, and then I get to do the slow turnaround and be like, what did you do?
Yes. So, this is going to be great. Okay, so James, you see the end of the truck is coming right at you, but you still do have a momentary lapse in your mind that this thing could hit D, but then you put it out of your mind and you head towards the creature, right? Is that kind of what I'm getting? The whole idea that you're saying?
I'm sorry, I was watching that clip. It was a little distracting. The gist is that in my mind, the goal is to disable this creature. So even though the goal of disabling it is to save D, step 1 is disable creature. So I kind of forgot about her in my just getting the job done.
Okay, so then how do you explain seeing the tail end of the truck coming at you that's going to hit you?
I don't. I don't. I am
Oh, you're totally focused on the creature. So all of a sudden you see the truck kind of come blaring in and hits the creature, knocks it 15 feet, and you just immediately tear off towards the creature.
Immediately, like as soon as I see it flying through the air, I am chasing right behind it with my shotgun racked. And when it hits the ground and rolls over, I want to go over and straddle it and put the shotgun in its face before it stands up. Okay. So I didn't even notice the rear of the truck behind me. It's basically just like that clip where the truck barely misses clipping me, and I'm oblivious to it.
Okay, I'm going to make you make a roll on this because you're going to be covering 15 feet of ground quite quickly as this thing's flying and hitting and rolling into the ground, and you don't know which way it's going to flop around or anything like that. And then at the same time, you got the bed end of this truck coming and hit you. So let's do an athletics check to get yourself in position to be able to get yourself in position there to take your shot on the grappler at obstacle 2.
All right. I would like to argue the point of moving 15 feet in a second. That's exactly what running backs do. Like, that's my job.
No, they don't go 15 feet in a second. That doesn't make sense. Even
yes,
Walter Payton couldn't do that. But yeah, you have an innate ability to do that. But let's still keep it at the obstacle. Oh, look at that!
Bam! I do it all day. So I get to create another boost.
You do.
He's over here making boosts, and I'm just hitting people with cars.
Can I just put a third one on flanker fighter attack go? Because it kind of makes sense.
Sure, that's true. Let's just do that.
As opposed to creating a whole new one.
Right. Well, but a boost does get consumed, though.
Yeah, it'll be consumed off of it. I mean, what's the difference between that naming something?
Well, the situational aspect stays out there on the scene the whole time, as where the boost would go away.
But the boost on the aspect goes away. The aspect with no boost on it requires a fate point to activate. So mechanically, there's no difference between creating a boost and tagging it to something else.
We could just say that the third.
If you want to create something, that's fine. I was just expediting a situation, is all.
Yeah, I think you're right, because the third. We'll just consider the third bump to be a boost, and then there's 2 more invokes on the aspect, but the situational aspect does stay there, though, doesn't it? Or no, I guess you're right.
Right.
It doesn't make sense why
when the
situational boost would be like that. Then, in my mind, I can't get my head around it.
Okay. Hold on a second. Aspects stay when boosts are gone. Putting a boost on there is not changing the aspect in any way whatsoever. Because an aspect requires a fate point to activate. And the boost function as fate points on it. Now, if I was to create a whole new boost and give it some different name that figures exactly into Flanker Fighter Attack Go, it just have to be some other thing that you drag down here and we type out some other stuff just to delete it 5 seconds later. Or you could just tag it on this and it'll all go away in 5 seconds anyways.
Right. Oh, and I just looked at the rules. You know what the big point is? You can free invoke without paying a fate point of flanker fighter attack. So
because it has 2 free boost.
So to use that third boost on it, you're going to have to use a fate point, but 2 other ones you can use as free invokes.
No, boost are free invokes.
Or are they?
Create a free boost over here. Look, let's go ahead and take this point off.
Okay.
Create a free boost over here, and it will function identically. I get to free invoke it, and then it just deletes at the end.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? All I did was put a free invoke on something else so that we didn't go through the extra steps of creating something to be deleted 5 seconds later.
And wasting time like we just did.
Right.
Sorry,
Exactly. I was trying to
it's
expedite the process.
yeah, I know. It's my GM learning curve. It's my first conflict. I'm trying to get my head around it. But the
And
way
you're super anal
yeah, I
is the
know.
other part of that.
It's true. Well, and what I was getting lost at was that the boost, gives you the +2, then goes away. The aspect goes away. As where when you succeeded with style, where you got the 2 invokes, it's still a free invoke, right? But it doesn't cost you a fate point to invoke
Yes.
that.
There are 3 free invokes on Flanker
Right.
Fighter Attack Go.
Yes.
If I wanted to get a 4th invoke off of it, I would have to try to recreate it with, recreating the aspect basically,
Right.
or I could spend a fate point.
Right. Okay. Moving on. You're in position. You're going to be able to get a shot off. This thing is definitely still on the ground. You've positioned yourself, and you said you straddled right over the front of it. Where do you have
Right over
shotgun?
its chest.
Where do you have the shotgun pointed?
It followed his tongue directly into his mouth. So
Okay.
I crammed the barrel into his mouth.
And pull the trigger?
Aiming it at the spinal column, the cerebellum at the back. I'm looking to disable this creepy thing.
Okay. And he is going
What's
to
the
defend.
obstacle or his defense?
Yeah, he's going to defend with. I'm going to have him defend with some active opposition, which you did too. And here's what's going to happen. Where's my grappler? There he is. Okay. You stick the shotgun in his mouth, and you pull the trigger, and you feel the gun go off. You hear the sound, of the shell kicking out, and the smoke comes blowing up out of his mouth and kind of covers. There's actually smoke coming out of his mouth when the shotgun goes off.
Right.
And it takes a second actually for this to clear, because there's a combination of the smoke that you see is from the shotgun blast and also emitted from this creature. And as the smoke clears, you expect to see his brains all over the street. And all you see is the grappler now looking and staring right back at you with his head still on there. And you haven't done any damage to it at all.
Did you roll?
No, I didn't.
He's just. I'm trying to figure out if there's any point to me spending my evokes. Is he just impervious?
Okay. I will give you that. Let me think out a way to put this for you, because I didn't roll because he didn't have a defense, but he had another type of a defense that you need to overcome first before he can.
Okay, so he's got.
So you could, if you wanted to invoke something, it would make a difference.
All right, then. Let's see.
On this situation.
My total roll is going to be 8 as I dump all Flanker Fighter Attack Go into it.
That
to
would
see.
be 6, 7, 8. Yeah, okay. So we're going to get rid of that aspect, period.
No, the aspect will technically still be there, just all the boosts are gone off of it.
Oh, okay.
I'm still in position. Until I get out of position, the creature could do an overcome against it, tries to, he wants to do athletics to, right. Oh. There's ways to overcome it.
Okay. All right. So at this point, this is how I'm going to.
Hold on a second.
Oh, yeah.
Spend a fate point on Adrenaline Rush because I am really pumped up.
Mm-hmm.
So let's make that a 10.
Make that a 10. Nice. Okay. And
That's
you gotta
probably the highest
too,
roll we've had yet.
That's true. You have to remember that you do have your shotgun stuff too. So the way I'm going to play this off at is...
Well, before I decide if I use the rest of my ammo, I want to see how he reacts to this shot.
Okay. This is how I'm going to explain it to you. You pull the trigger once, and then the smoke clears, and then you notice that his head's still on there, and he kind of gives that evil look to you like he's going to eat your brains. And then you start pulling the trigger again. You pull it, 4 more times? Do, 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 do. And then the adrenaline rush kicks in.
I would say I put it in his mouth and shoot, and the smoke sort of clears, and he's still looking at me. And I pull it out and just point it probably about 2 or 3 inches right between the eyes. Just try to take his eyes out. Like, don't look at me, bitch. And blam, just shoot him. And
okay. But see, as you're shooting,
his brain cavity.
There's the gas emission from the the shotgun, plus also what's coming from this thing. So you're not you pulled the shotgun out after the first shot.
Whatever makes the most sense to you. How does 10 affect him? Is he dead?
As the smoke clears after you take the next 5 shots, 4 shots. What was that? Yeah, there was 4 shots, including the adrenaline rush. Finally, the smoke will clear, and its brains are all over the street now. Its head's gone. It's gone. And you just kind of see this little tongue hanging out, sitting on the flat of the street. So
all right.
Grappler's dead.
So now what has unfolded behind me?
Now, that being said, before we go to there, you've just let off a whole bunch of shots of the shotgun. So obviously you're going to need to reload because a Mossberg only holds, 4 rounds? James?
The extended.
Yep. You're going to hear some noises, and I mean noises multiple, coming from the north.
This is the zombies all over again. We should run away.
And you see up in the northern part of the intersection that there is a group of, let me keep poking it out here, these things coming your way.
Mooks.
You like that? Small group
human-like
of
creatures,
violent,
groaning noises, bloody mouths, hands, and feet.
Yes.
Oh dear.
They are coming your way.
They eat with their feet. That is so creepy.
Or they stomp with their feet. Coming from the north at this time. Okay? They are not close enough yet to move into the intersection where you're at, but they're getting close. Jason.
And I can hear this over the screeching and thump thump of him running over D.
Not yet. Not yet.
Oh my god.
Jason, you are going to realize you see because you're kind of, as you're making this maneuver and you hit the creature, you're going to kind of turn back and you're going to catch a little bit of sight of D released from the grappler. Because, maybe you thought in your mind that the grappler would take her with you and get her out of the way. But he released her. And then also you see James move off towards the grappler. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, this is D on your teenage priorities. And I'm going to compel you that, you're in this situation where you're not quite 100% sure if the back end of this truck, because it's hit this gravel section unexpectedly, and the tail end of the truck is going that direction. You're thinking you're going to hit D. Okay? And I'm going to compel you that you need to figure out some way to not crush D. That you're compelling. I'm compelling. Am I putting that right? That you're being compelled to figure out some sort of way to not hit D.
Yeah.
Did I put that right, Voth? Did I compel that right, or trying to think?
Well,
I don't feel
if
like
he notices that D's back there.
Yeah.
I don't even necessarily know that he needs a compel not to try and hit her. I think it's kind of understood.
Okay.
considering our mission was to rescue her, if he didn't care about running over her, that would just be weird.
Okay.
So my initial
So
thought
that-
is,
Because
it doesn't.
let me take the
It
fate point
kind of be a
back then.
little bit of a stretch, but the evasion. Well, no, that
Let's see.
I would say I would try to use my athletics to kind of try to have my hand-eye coordination good enough that when I see the truck start sliding a bit, I can quickly adjust. Like I have fast enough reactions that I can quickly try to adjust, spin the wheel the other way, and miss.
I still think that would probably fall back on your drive.
Drive.
Yeah, because your athletics is more specific to your character's general level of physical fitness, natural gifts.
Yeah, I was just thinking like
Yeah,
not hand-eye coordination, but reaction time.
right. Trying to think of a way I can give you an interesting compel, though.
Or either that, or use will as like not panicking, like staying adrenaline rush and using staying calm and level-headed to try to right the situation.
Right. See, because the whole thing is if you don't do something for the truck, the back end of the truck is going. Go ahead, Both.
It could be worded that he creates an advantage using his, stretch stuff that he's going with that wasn't drive.
Okay.
Like for instance, athletics. For instance, he wants to just put all his energy and dexterity into slamming this wheel into the other direction so that it causes the back to not hit her somehow. And then, so that'd be creating the advantage of, call it like heightened senses or pushing the envelope or something like that,
Okay.
And so then allow him to roll the drive and consume that bonus he created, assuming he's.
Okay. Okay, so Matt, give me back your fate point.
Okay.
Give me that back.
Yeah.
So that actually makes a better sense there. That you're going to use your athletics to create an aspect, basically a situational aspect, based off of your athletic ability to create something that you could use just in case your drive check goes wrong, right? Kind of. I guess that's more of a
technically
mechanic part, but yeah.
Yeah, technically, creating the aspect and then doing the action happen on two separate turns. But as the GM, you're trying to create a really interesting situation that he could potentially get out of. So you kind of toss some rules out of the window where you're letting him. You're create this instead of being a turn in a conflict. You're creating. What do they call it? Where you get to roll several skills and see how the skills turn out. Like you could let him roll 3 skills.
Yeah, it's a challenge. Overcome, a passive challenge overcome. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so you could you could give him 3 skills to roll. So you could say, okay, roll your drive to see how well you do, your athletics to see how quick your reaction is, and your notice to make sure that you notice all the nuance of the situation. And then he rolls the 3 of them, and then you interpret the situation off those rolls.
Yeah. So I'll actually leave it up to Jason if he wants to create an aspect first with his athletics, or does he just want to kind of do a complete challenge overcome like Voth had just said there? So do you want to create an aspect with your athletics first to maybe create some boosts possibly?
It would probably be better for me to do that, but I'm very intrigued by the challenge.
Yeah, that's true. The challenge kind of sounds fun.
I would say before initiating the challenge, assign just a difficulty. Like it would be a difficulty 2, whatever you decide, or difficulty 3, whatever you decide. And then you'd interpret the 3 points of the roll to see how the situation unfolds. Like, so maybe if he succeeds in the notice and the athletics, but he botches on the drive, he's just not good enough of a driver. So he didn't kill her. Maybe he ran over a leg. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So what I will do, because I think I don't want to set a norm obstacle with this. I think I should set the obstacle based, so, okay, for instance, you want to use your athletics first to kind of, throw the truck, into the opposite side. Fishtail, does that make sense? Yeah.
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 You're basically drifting.
Okay.
You wants to drift out of it.
Yeah, so you want to kind of train the car from its current drifting pattern into the next drifting pattern using your athletics, but the gravel's in the way, the inertia of the car is heading towards D, so you're trying to kind of throw it in the other direction. So let's do this athletics check against an obstacle 2, and I know that you don't have any fate points out there. Or any boosts to be able to do that. So this is going to be straight fate for you. Obstacle 2 to see if you can get it go. Oh,
wow.
Oh,
bam.
Gosh. That is
so he gets to create
3.
a boost off that.
He does.
I'd save that boost for when you're driving, when you're rolling your drive against that +2.
Yeah, right.
I would say, there you go. We did it as a passive challenge overcome, and you still created the boost. All right, so what do you want to call that?
Quick reaction.
Okay,
I'd call it Tokyo Drift. This is my idol.
Tokyo Drift. That's perfect.
How do you spell Tokyo?
Tokyo. Tokyo
Drift.
Tokyo. Yeah.
Okay, so your athletic ability and strength enables you to muscle this recon truck back into an opposite way drift, okay? But you're going to now need to overcome, because the truck is now drifting the other direction, and so the front end of the truck is now kind of turning back towards like it's going to head and run over D. So you're going to need to make your drive check at an obstacle 3 to make sure that you don't hit D in any sort of way.
All right.
And James and the dead grappler are far enough away, they're not going to be anything in the way for you. But
a 2 plus my boost should be good enough, right?
Yep, that'll make you overcome it. Woo! So you consumed the Tokyo Drift.
Came pretty close to squashing her.
That was close. And you'll see as it tail spins to the left, and then it kind of tail spins back to the right a little bit, but then you grab it under control, the truck under control, because of the large tires that are on the jacked up recon truck, and it just barely misses.
I just imagine him throwing gravel all over her.
That's right. She gets the gravel grenade effect. No. Okay, so you're able to make it out. James, you're kind of focused back over on this grappler. I don't know if you would have noticed any of this happening in back behind you, but all of a sudden you kind of from the in a back behind you, you hear the truck kind of go skidding by. The wheels, catching the road and then straightening out and then kind of heading down the intersection a little bit. Jason, you will also notice at that time, you notice the group of mooks coming towards you guys from the northern intersection too. James, what would you like to do? He flips him the bird.
So there's the group of mooks.
To the
disable
north.
the creature. I would run back over to D and try to scoop her up on my shoulder and throw her into the recon truck, assuming the recon truck is no longer sliding all over the place.
Yeah, I was kind of picturing that I was
moving,
like hitting the brakes and kind of slowing down.
Okay. You want to do that before you enter into the north street?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So Jason would kind of make his maneuver and get it in gear again, and now you're in the opposite lane of traffic facing towards this group of mooks approaching towards you. James, you're going to recollect yourself like, oh yeah, crap, D. You get over to D and you notice the gash in her arm is really, really bad. She needs medical attention right away. So you just want to grab her and pick her up and throw her in the back of the truck and then climb in?
Yeah, we're trying to get out of here because I saw those other things coming. I just had to shoot this thing around to save her. She's safe, and he could just run them over or something.
I'm going to take flanker fighter attack aspect off now because that grappler is gone.
Oh, yeah, that thing's dead.
Yep. And I'm going to take adrenaline rush off too because you have now acquired D. She was the cause of your adrenaline rush.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, it's up to you, man.
Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Let's see here. Prepare one more thing. Okay. So, James, you are in the back of the truck, right? So you I mean, it's not going to D's small enough, it's not going to take that much at all for you to snag her, wrap her up, and get her thrown into the back of the truck. Right? As you are grabbing her, make me a notice roll off of an obstacle 2.
I don't notice.
You don't notice, but you do have a fate point.
Well, that's the problem with notice rolls.
Yeah, it is. It is. But
if I don't notice, I don't notice. It's not like I could be compelled to notice harder.
Right. I'm trying to create...
You notice as hard as you can.
Concentrate.
I'm trying to create a situational aspect upon you.
Okay.
Because it's my turn now.
Well, in that case, if you're trying to create an aspect on me, I would just say do it.
Okay.
Don't make me roll for it because I failed. I mean, unless the failure equals something. But if you're trying...
Okay.
It's like...
Yeah, just... Okay, so... Because this is really not a compel. It's just a situational thing that's risen up. James, you will notice... Actually, I think both of you will, because you guys are now facing northbound, looking at these mooks coming in at you. And at the last second, you're going to hear thudding footsteps, heavy thudding footsteps coming at you from the west. And it's moving in quick. And
I just smash on the back window. You know how trucks have that partitioning open window? I like bang on it and slide it up and say, "Get going! We need to get out of here now."
Yes. Coming in from the west side of the intersection, you see this. Another creature, a much, much larger creature, comes barreling in.
T1.
Oh dear.
Charger.
And it's moving quick. As you catch sight of it, and it's really, really close. I mean, the thudding footsteps get really, really quick and close. I mean, it happens so quickly as James is loading up D and Jason comes to a stop. And this large, monstrous, violent human-like creature has got, you hear the warped growling and loud bellowing noise. We are in Montana. Yes, you are. And it's bulky and bloody and lopsided, large stone arm and shoulder.
Oh, it's made of stone?
Yeah, it's like a big, large, big, bulky arm comes barreling in,
I
and it's about to hit the
say
side
into
of
the open
truck.
window.
Yeah.
Just to reiterate, perhaps we should get moving now.
Nice, calm and cool and collected.
I'd kind of
It's-
like to take two actions.
Okay.
I'd like to simultaneously floor the gas, and with my left hand on the wheel, right hand, I'd like to try to.
Well, actually, Jason, at that moment,
Uh-oh.
uh,
That never ends well.
that's right. Since this thing is so close to you, and you have an aspect shrink from the brink, I'm going to compel you that you're going to want to take some sort of defensive position.
Well, I mean,
Okay,
I'm
do that.
in the car still.
Right, you're in the car still.
Like
But
defensive.
this thing's moving fast like it's a big boulder rolling right towards the truck, and it's about to smash into it. I'm going to compel you that you're shrinking from the brink.
So I want to drive away.
Whatever you decide to do. But you need to do it in some sort of defensive manner. You want to roll and cover up in the front of the cab, or
No, that sounds like a
up to you.
terrible idea.
I'm compelling you that you're shrinking.
I guess that would be hitting the brakes and trying to shoot it, just running away, or hitting the gas. I mean,
Yeah. Okay. So you're going to try to hit the gas at this millisecond of time, and starting the truck move again, shrinking, just like, oh, I got to get away from here. And the best way to is
Yeah.
to move the car. Okay. Give me, and this thing is huge. So give me, and it's moving in fast. Most likely it's going to hit the truck. Give me an obstacle 2 drive check to see how quickly you can move this vehicle. Okay. You're going to be able to move the vehicle. You hit the gas and it starts heading in the direction you want it to go in a defensive position.
I was thinking the same thing, boss.
Hey, I can still use the monsters from Left 4 Dead 2.
I just killed the smoker.
Yep.
Here comes the charger, or whatever the big
comes the
thing is called, the
charger.
monster.
So you can kind of know what other things may be coming at you. Okay. Jason, you're able to drive and get the truck moving, but it's not quite enough inertia. This thing,
Unless I were to
you move it
fate
enough.
point it, right?
Oh, you can if you like. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fate
you-
pointing that.
What aspect do you want to compel?
Uh,
I'm going to move the
Maybe-
aspect of off-road recon truck is up here now too.
thinking kind of teenage priorities. Now that I've got my number, let's see, what is it? My number 2 and my number 3 priorities in the truck with me, and they're both in danger. I kind of want to really make sure that I'm taking care of them.
Okay, true. Good one. Okay. So you're going to throw a fate point out there, make that 2 into a 4. And so now what's going to happen is you're going to be able to move the truck perfectly, and this charger, because he's just like full shoulder down and just running straight towards the truck, and you're able to move the truck just barely enough, and he just like barely misses the back end of the bumper, which you think at the speed that he was moving, and even James watching it would have seen this thing would have probably knocked the truck over onto its side, or knocked it into a tailspin that would have, the momentum of it would have knocked it over. So this charger goes barreling past you guys.
That's kind of why I used the fate point. Was I figured that was not going to end well.
Yeah,
To
and he'll
say the least.
Yeah, he is going to kind of skid into a stop across the across the street, knowing that he didn't connect with anything, fully expecting that it was going to connect with stuff. At that same time, the mooks, the group of mooks, is going to move in on the moving truck. And they don't care. They're just kind of moving straight in. James, you notice just out of the corner. What is your notice anyway? Oh, yeah. You're average at noticing.
1.
You're going to kind of notice as the truck beads out and you see this large creature come barreling past. You kind of look out of the corner of your eye and you notice over into the area where the grappler was and where its body was.
Mm-hmm.
You all of a sudden see it turn into smoke and rise up and then immediately quickly suck back down into the ground.
Perfectly normal.
Perfectly normal. Nothing really crazy about that.
I kind of shake my head and rub my eyes and look back over there.
Yeah, it's like
maybe we're just too far away to see it.
Its physical body it dissipated back into smoke and then sucked back into the ground. And then the mooks all approach at you and they're trying to grapple onto the truck. James, what would you like to do?
Well, as long as we're driving away, I'm happy. I'm not shooting at smoke. I'm not shooting the big creature. I don't want to waste ammo. I'm just trying to hunker down and hold Dee's head so she's not slant bouncing off as we drive.
Okay.
And I'll probably shout go, go, go.
Go, 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 go. You'll notice as you're hunkering down with Dee, she's bleeding pretty badly out of the claw mark, the deep claw mark on her hand and down her arm. She definitely needs stitches to stem this flow. Is there anything you might want to try to do to take care of her, or what are you thinking?
I would say this is in no way a area of expertise. I don't have lore. I'm not the smart one. I don't have good notice. I'm just kind of well, she's getting blood on me. This sucks,
Ew, gross.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have a good argument for me being going all MacGyver and trying to tear my belt off and wrap it around her or something.
Right. Okay. I am going to compel you that, okay, she is on your teenage priorities list. She is your 5th, even though she's low, but you got her and put her in the truck, that you're going to contact James, knock on the window, say, dude, you need to get back here and take care of Dee. Or
okay,
how would I put that? That you need to get some help.
I would
Dee somehow.
So you're shooting me a fate point. I'd slide the window up and be like, I think Dee might be dying, dude. She's bleeding a lot. It's getting all over my pants.
I'll yell back,
These are true religion pants.
take off your shirt, wrap it around the wound, and hold it tight.
Okay. So I'm hearing here that Jason is trying to give some sort of commands and information to James of what to do to stem the bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So.
Lore.
Yeah.
I've read about this. Do it. +3.
Yep. Is about knowledge and education. Okay. As with skills we can learn because it's a particular example of the game. So Jason is going to impart lore to James, and James, you're going to try to have to absorb what he's telling you to do. So is that rapport? Yes, about making positive connection with people. So
I think I made the bleeding worse.
yeah, James starts yelling back through as he's driving, and these mooks are all coming up and surrounding the front of the car, trying to grab onto the car, and he's screaming back some stuff at you, and it's really, really not very good information.
Okay, stick your thumb in there and pull out the artery, and then try to tie it in a knot.
And from this bad information, go ahead and roll your rapport. Let's see how well James can extrapolate any sort of information from this.
You want me to do a what now?
Rapport?
You want me to do a rapport?
Yeah, for James to do a rapport to check for positive connections between.
There we go. 3.
Okay. You get just enough possible information from Jason on what to kind of do to stem the bleeding, but you're not quite sure what he's meaning by it. But you kind of get the physical things you're supposed to do with it.
Like I'm supposed to stop the bleeding, right? Fuck.
Yeah. So go ahead, give me some RP on what you're doing.
Well, I don't really know what I'm doing. The only knowledge I have about this would be from action movies where everything's sort of ridiculous. So I tear off like my belt and just like wrap it around her arm is bleeding, right?
Mm-hmm. It's going from
and
the
I cinch it
palm
really
down
tight
to the wrist area,
like a tourniquet.
Yeah, so kind of like if you see someone like tries to commit suicide, they're really serious about it. They'll go vertical down the arm. So this is kind of going from her palm, kind of at an angle, but cutting in that sort of direction.
Right. So I would do my best to tourniquet her arm at about the elbow and just tighten my belt up really tight, and just. That's it. I have no idea. That's my best my best attempt.
Yep. You're receiving poor information from Jason.
I might as well just be
you kind of
extrapolated it.
Now. Yeah, you extrapolated it kind of well of what you understand it, but you've never applied a tourniquet before. You've never done anything like this before. So give me a lore check at obstacle 3 to determine how well you apply this first aid to her.
1.
Okay.
Just tying a belt around an arm.
Right, but this is going to be for what's going to happen compared to what you're doing. You put the tourniquet on, you've wrapped up her arm and everything. Would you like to spend a fate point? Is there anything you can invoke for a fate point on that? Or no, would you like just to leave it at that?
I think I did a good job.
You do.
I wrapped a belt around her arm, and there's out of character. I have no reason to believe that I didn't do a good job.
Well, you think you think at this point you've done an average job.
Well, it's average. I mean, what do you expect? I'm mad about getting blood on me.
Uh-huh.
That makes sense to me that he listened to what I said, he did it, and he would think it'd be fine.
Okay. We'll move on from there then. You don't want to use any fate points? You just want to move on?
You're not extracting fate points from me.
Saving those for a rainy day.
That's right. Okay.
She didn't even show her boobs to Jason. I'm just like,
and
you don't listen.
And there's a problem with that.
He tried to slaughter them boobies.
She doesn't listen.
That's right.
Yeah.
He tried to slaughter them boobies. Okay. So James is doing his best he can. I figure you'll look up in a second, and you've seen that the Charger has got his feet back underneath him from skidding to a stop, and he's now heading towards the back of the truck. And he is about to smash into the back of the truck with his momentum as the mooks are climbing, on the moving truck at that time.
They can actually climb up on it? How slow is he going?
No, not the Charger, the mooks, the group of mooks.
I was
the group of
expecting
mooks
to, like,
in the front, and you
slam
got the
into
Charger
him.
in the back.
Is it like taking me a second? The tires are spinning out a little on the gravel as we get going.
Right. So you barely moved out of the way of this thing and kind of got your movement going as the mooks came in at you, and then the Charger skidded to a stop and turned around as momentum is coming at you. So you're kind of in a sandwich situation here.
All right, so
Jason, what would you like
I
to
would
do?
like to...
Oh, I'm going to go with Jason first because you just got the tourniquet thing going.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Well, continue to press on the gas for sure. And
Maybe let off the gas a little bit so it stops spinning.
yeah. Use my drive to try to, most efficiently get out of there. But I'd also like to start shooting.
Okay. So you want to try to drive and then also pull out your 9mm and shoot off a round?
Left hand on the wheel, right hand with the 9mm.
Okay. Let's put this to a challenge again then too.
Okay.
Because you got two mooks that are in the front and then two on the side trying to kind of grapple in through the to get a hold of the truck and climb up onto the truck on the side, and the two in the front are trying to climb up on the front. So first of all, let's see how well your drive check does for knocking these things off. So the truck's moving. You're kind of spinning out on the gravel, trying to get the truck moving, so it's not moving very quickly, but it's still kind of hard to get onto. And these, you're pulling out your what was that? What?
Yeah, he rolled a -2.
Oh, you rolled already?
I rolled a -3.
You didn't even let me finish my explanation.
Oh my god!
Because I was going to put it at a obstacle 2 because of the situation that was going on. So that's bad because you're spinning out on the gravel trying to get the truck going, and you're also trying to reach out, pulling your gun out at the same time as you're doing all this. Okay.
Might as well have Kurt driving at this point.
Yeah. So with nothing to compel on there, the two mooks in the front are going to be able to climb up onto the hood of the truck because you're not quite getting the truck up to speed at the moment. And then the one that's kind of approaching you at your driver's side window, you want to get a shot off at it?
Yeah, and I'm going to use my precise snipe.
You can only use precise snipe when it is a long-range vehicle. Under
Long range? Oh, it is
long-range
long-range weapon.
Yeah.
Damn it. I was going to put one right between.
Oh, you can still do that. I mean, he's moving right towards you. You're going to be able to get a shot off. He's not, but, a couple feet away from you right now, or even a foot away from you right now. So go ahead and roll your shoot, and we'll just. Okay.
Wow.
Kapow. So you're able to blast this thing, and you nail him. Where were you aiming? Where were you shooting at him?
Oh, headshot.
Headshot. Okay. You totally nail this thing perfectly right in the head. And that is 3. So you are 3 above. You're going to be able to create a boost off of this action.
Okay. I've done it before. I can do it again.
Okay.
We've obviously I've been hunting and probably shot at a range before, but I've never tried to kill a monster getting me. So kind of calming my nerves and realizing that, yeah, I've done it, so I have the confidence doing it again moving forward.
I can do it again. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Okay. So you're able to blast one of these mooks perfectly right in the head as these comes flying, as the other ones come flying up on the truck. And then the other one is going to get to the passenger side window. And one of the mooks is going to be coming towards you in the on the the front of the driver's side truck, and he's going to smash the front of the window. He's going to try to smash the front of the window. And then the other one's going to try to smash the passenger side as one more comes over the top of the truck and is coming down in towards James. Jason, you will notice at that time, too, as you headshot the guy, he kind of just trickles off and falls down to the ground and then dissipates the same way that happened to the grappler. So if Jason didn't see the grappler, which I don't think he did, he would see how they... what's the word?
Glad these things aren't turning back into the town folk that we know.
Oh, dang it. I totally forgot one question line there, too. Let me retcon there back. Good thing you brought that up. You would notice, James would notice when he was dealing with the grappler that he's like, is that Russell Garlock, the gas station attendant in Lolo? So he was wearing kind of the gas station attendant clothes that you've seen Russell wear as he, he's the, gas station attendant that, just helps people inside and all that kind of junk. So you would understand that was Russell. Nice.
Correct. Oh, this is great. Oh, just kidding. It's terrible.
It's terrible. So, but, they're in some sort of violent mode here going on. Okay, that was Jason's turn. Let's go to James now. You have a mook coming over the top, bearing down on you.
Do mooks have superhuman strength, or are they just average people?
They are just average people. Average violent people, groaning noises. They got bloody hands, feet, and mouths. So they like to chomp and eat on you guys.
So, did you say he's like coming through a sunroof? Where is he coming from? Am I I'm in the very back?
You are in the back. You're in the bed of the recon.
In the
truck.
bed.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, and he's
coming up over the edge.
He's come over the top of the cab.
Okay.
Because the truck is not moving fast enough, and they were able, Jason had a hard time with his driving, getting you guys momentum up to hit him and to get up and over, so they were able to one has climbed up on the front of the truck and is bashing at the window, the driver's window. The other one's bashing at the passenger side, and this one's coming over the top towards you. And the
one that's coming over the top.
And the Charger is bearing down behind you, yes.
All right, I will stand up and look this thing right in the eye and just throw my hardest right hook that I can and try to just hit it and cause momentum that it rolls off the cab and potentially hits the one that's hitting on the other side.
Okay, so you're gonna fight. You're gonna hit it.
Yeah,
right.
Just gonna punch the shit out of it.
Nice, nice. Okay. You totally right hook this thing, catch it right in the sweet spot. The button. You hit it right in the button. And you just see it go stiff. You see it's, as your fist connects with it, it just hits it. And just like in, WWA, or what's the fighting one? I can't remember. Anyway, he just hits it. You hit
UFC.
him right. UFC. You just hit him perfectly, and he just kind of gets that lights out look. And just hits the top of the cab and rolls off from the inertia of it and hits the ground and dissipates in the smoke. You also will create a boost from that hit, too.
Yeah.
What would you like to call
Is
that?
his
Man, we got so many things. I'm
So-
going to put the recon truck back down here.
his defense is 0?
Yeah, he's a mook. He's nothing.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, you were fighting against a 0 there.
I would say just pumped up or something. Like, I just punched this guy into smoke. I'm feeling like a badass.
Okay. Pumped up. Okay. Just as James is feeling like a badass, the charger from behind strikes the truck. The back of the truck.
Uh-oh.
Great. So I'm standing up when that thing goes.
Yep.
You're
You're standing up.
So do I
You
need
hit
to
that
make
guy.
Do I need to make an
It's-
athletics roll not to topple?
Yeah, it is not a very good hit. It smashes into the back of the truck and kind of lurches the truck real good. Okay, so you're going to use athletics to defend with ease.
Yeah.
And then, Jason, I'm going to need you to make a drive check to see how you defend against this sudden lurch, small lurch in the back of the truck, if it's going to throw you off or not, comparative to an obstacle 1.
If it's anything like my last drive check,
It's true. Oh,
Jesus.
that is 2 shifts. And I don't think you can use the boost, can you? I can do it again because that was more based off your gunfire.
yeah, that was
Is
more.
that kind of how it works, Voth, with boost to making sense?
What now? You cut out a little bit.
Oh, I did? Dang it.
Yeah, it's just because my internet's getting a little spotty.
Okay.
Okay, you're trying to create a boost off what now?
Well, no, he wasn't trying to create a boost. He has a boost out there already of I can do it again. But that was created off of his headshot to one of the mooks that had come up.
Gotcha. See,
Yeah, the
that's
way
why
I
you got to
kind of-
name your boost like pumped up.
yeah.
So they're universal.
They're universal.
The
for other things.
nomenclature.
It's all mechanics of
Experience.
aspects. Okay.
Yeah, no,
I could do it again. That has to do with shooting. Going into driving, I would say that doesn't make sense.
No, it
Okay.
doesn't make sense.
Okay, so what's going to happen is this charger hit it well enough.
Could I argue a point real quick?
Absolutely.
After it lurches, he's driving and we're kind of spinning out in this gravel and shit. He's just not going anywhere. And I would like to invoke off-road recon truck and stick my head in that back window and say, "Why don't you put it in 4-wheel drive, jackass?"
Good idea. Okay, go ahead and throw a fate point out there.
And he can do.
I don't have any fate points. I
check.
can't.
Okay,
Oh my god.
so you're going to invoke it for him?
Yes, I'm invoking off-road recon truck for him, so then he could re-roll or add a +2. If he adds a +2, and
Yep.
creating a boost, not necessarily succeeding, but he'd create a boost so that he actually bends down, puts it into 4-wheel drive, and drives away.
Okay. He'll take his -1 and turn it into a 1. So that's going to be if you add the +2, or if you wanted to re-roll again, which you had a -2 on the roll. So, Jason, what would you like to do?
A +1, so reroll would most likely be +1.
Yeah. So if you do the +2, you're going to succeed, but at a minor cost.
I'm
And
gonna
then-
re-roll it. I'm feeling lucky here.
Okay. All right. Let it
It's
fly.
It's
Oh,
Son of a bitch.
fuck!
How does that happen?
Simple, because it's fate.
Oh, well, that did
Two
work.
-2s in a row. Oh my goodness.
I was due.
Yep. Oh, the first one you rolled was a -1, a +1, a -1, and a -1. That was a -3? It was. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah,
No,
because you
just
had one
-2.
+1, -2. That's right. Okay. Wow.
Oh, I thought I was
Bad
due.
luck for you. So
Not bad luck, just being
Jason
stupid.
Jason throws it into four-wheel drive as the Charger hits
No,
it.
he doesn't know how to put it in four-wheel
Yeah.
drive. He's like, how?
He's getting it stuck there. And Jason, after experiencing all this going on here, I'm gonna compel you with Mr. Mind Games has a taste for vengeance, because you're in this situation where this thing's now bopping you in the truck and James is sticking his head in the window telling you, throw it in four-wheel drive and do it. And so you throw it kind of in four-wheel drive, and it's the car is sticking. It's just kind of sticking. So I'm going to compel you to, I'm trying to think how to do this, compel, because I don't want to tell you what to do, right? I'm telling you that you want to extract revenge upon these things.
Me?
Again, yes.
Yeah. I'm frustrated by
Yes.
the driving situation. I want to take it out by shooting these things.
Right. You were able to shoot this thing really, really well in the head, and then you got really, I can do that. So that maybe the truck's not the answer, or, I don't know. You decide. Is that the right way to compel?
You trying to get me out of the truck and just shooting at things?
I'm compelling you that you want to, extract revenge. These things are pissing you off again. You got one is smashing on your windshield, and it's going to probably break through the windshield here any second. And you got another one that's smashing on the driver's side, is trying to get in. You see the one fall off the top, and then there's this big frickin' arm thing that's smashing you from behind. It's pissing you off, and you want to extract revenge on him. What would you like to do?
Can I say a kind of a two-part plan? If I succeed at one, I do the second one, but if I fail at the first one, I don't want to do the second one. It's kind of a contingent.
Yeah. Sure.
So it's such a bad idea.
That was a great idea.
No, what I'm gonna do is a bad idea.
That's perfect.
So there's another one there's one on the windshield, and there's one on the driver's side door, and then there's
basically,
the big guy.
You shot the one that was at the driver's side. The two of them came up over the top of the hood. One jumped over and got smacked by James. The other one is smashing on the driver's side window. So soon here, you're not going to be able to see through it. And then the other
we're down to one on the windshield and then the Charger.
I know you're down to one on the windshield, one on the passenger side windshield, not windshield, but the window, and then the Charger at the back of the car.
Okay. I'm going to try to shoot the one off the windshield. And if I succeed at that, I'm going to kind of kick the door open and just keep shooting at everything else. Like, get out and just kind of go Rambo style.
Okay.
If I fail at killing the one on the windshield, I'm just going to keep trying to drive away.
Okay. Perfect. So you're just going to kind of point. He's nice and close, smashing on the windshield. Mm-hmm. You're going to try to time your shot perfectly through the broken glass to aim at his head, or just where are you thinking?
I'm going to try to headshot him again. I can do it again.
I can do it again. Okay.
I can do it again.
Let it fly.
How am I so good at shooting and so bad at driving?
You are so good. Should we put another boost?
What you need to do.
That's going to be, is that 2 boosts?
Basically, he could keep I could do it again going, or he could create something more universal, like in the zone.
Yes. So what I'll allow you to do at this time is rename that I can do it again boost, and we're going to put 2 bumps on it. What would you like to rename it as?
Could I do 1 bump on the I Can Do It Again and then 1 new one of In the Zone?
Sure.
Because I totally get that it makes sense to do a general one, but I'm sucking at so many other things that I think giving a specific bonus to shooting just makes more sense.
Quiet down here, and I'm going to put your boost up here. So In the Zone.
In the Zone, we'll have 1, and I Can Do It Again should have 2 on it then.
No, I Can Do It Again. We'll just keep its 1. You don't get 2 boosts, actually. I just looked at the rule for that. When you made an attack and you succeeded with style big time, but you still only get 1.
Get 1.
Gotcha. Yeah, 1 boost from it. Right, Voth?
Right.
Check what the game.
I went from +2 to -2 to -2 to +3.
Yeah. Seriously. So
you can't drive for shit.
Yeah.
I can't.
Shoot.
You're going to have to learn how to drive, Bob.
Seriously. You let off a perfect
let me just
shot.
see real quick. Let me just see. Nope, I'm right there with him.
That was a 0. Okay, so Jason, you let off a shot perfectly, and it just goes right through the windshield, makes a nice little hole through there. It's going to kind of, it makes a bullet through the glass hole, but it still has some glass shards that will come out, and you just nail this thing perfectly right in the head. So much so, and so quickly did you react, that I will give you your second part of your thing you wanted to do. And this is the last move, too.
I'm going to step out of the car and take a really good aim at the Charger and try to get him right between the eyes.
Oh, shit, you're stepping out?
He's stepping out. So the car is stopped then, right? You did slam on the brakes to stop the car? Or are you doing the red where you kind of just let it's moving and you just kind of step out and try to grab your feet?
No, I think since those 2 are in the back, I'll stop the car.
Okay.
Can you imagine if I just left the car driving, get out and start shooting at things while those 2 are in the back and the car's just going?
Then you would be doing that Bruce Willis thing.
That's right. I can just see
funny as that would
James's face looking at Jason as he's going by, like, what in the heck is he doing? Maybe I should compel that.
Oh my god.
How can I
This would be an example of compelling a muse.
Yes.
Vengeance.
Matter of fact, Jason has something to prove because he's always in the shadow of James.
Oh, shit.
Let's throw a fate point to you. So I'm going to compel you that you're going to not stop the car.
It's a good thing that I'm so bad at driving that I haven't got the car moving fast yet.
Yeah, the car's not even going that fast.
Right. So it's not moving like, 15 or 20 miles per hour. It's probably saying, it's going around about 5, in between 5 and 10. Okay. So you jump out of the car. James kind of takes a second, looks as you go by. It's like, who's driving the car? James, give me some RP.
He's saying I'm athletic enough to hop in to the cab, and I said I'd miss the brake with my -1. I'd hit the gas instead or something.
Yeah, because your poor driving skills come
I imagine the truck rolling away at roughly 8 miles an hour. It's a little bit faster than a human's average walk, and I'm like, the thing careened into the truck. I grabbed onto the bed and righted myself, and I turned up and I racked the shotgun, and then I just see Jason walking by. I'm like, what the? Who's driving?
Why are you not in the car?
Okay.
Who's driving?
Jason, before
Respond?
you get to respond before you take your shot at the Charger.
Uh, I'm in the zone, man. I'm not even paying attention to James.
So I just yell at him who's driving, and he keeps walking Terminator style with his pistol leveled at the creature. What the fuck, dude?
Oh, this is such a bad idea.
That's a great idea. Okay, go ahead and take your shot against the Charger.
Since to interject really quick, since he received a fate point to get out of the still moving car, I would recommend like maybe having it go into a ditch or something really inconvenient. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Oh, I got an idea.
Get stuck somehow.
I'm really trying to take this Charger out. I've got 2 fate points, and I can do it again and in the zone. Oh, I better take this thing out.
He rolls a 5. Okay. That's pretty good.
Not bad.
Yep.
I'm assuming
you will
notice
not
killing this thing. Well, I'll let you go.
This Charger is a lot more formidable than the Grappler was. So let me get my
translation armor.
Yeah.
Translation armor and stress.
Can I boost it with the I can do it again so I can make it like perfect headshot right between the eyes?
Yeah, you can boost it up as high as you want. You got 2 fate points, and if you can, if those fate points, you can do those off your aspect, and you can consume in the zone, and I can do it again if you would like to.
I'd like to do I can do it again in the zone and a fate point.
Okay. What
is he rolling against an obstacle or an active defense?
He is not. Well, nope. I figure that this grappler hit the back of the truck, knocked him kind of forward. Right. He turned and shot the one, came and jumped out of the car, and is popping off another round just that quick with his athletic ability. And the Charger hasn't even had a chance to connect. He hasn't even had a chance to get his momentum again. So he's just standing there, getting ready to make his next charge on the truck. So
if he's rolling against an obstacle 0, technically he would get to create another boost off this.
Right.
Just keep snowballing it.
Okay, so which you want to use the I can do it again and in the zone, and then you want to do a fate point, so that's going to bump it up to a 11, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the new boost should be Bruce Willis ain't got shit on me.
That's right. Badass and a mofo. Okay, we'll leave one boost out there to rename it. So this gets consumed. Go ahead and what aspect are you going to use that last fate point?
Something to prove.
Okay, same one there. Okay, perfect. Go ahead and drop it out. That is awesome. And what do you want to rename this boost as? You can still leave it in the zone or whatever you want to do. What are you thinking?
On a roll.
Yeah.
I like it.
How about this? Killing
Did you
spree.
consume I could do it again?
Yeah, he did.
Did I can do it again? Okay. Because it was still there.
On a roll.
I guess you're renaming it.
Okay. So what happens is he comes out, and it's going to take a couple shots. So you used 3, so you pop off 3 or 4 rounds into this Charger, and a couple of them go right through his head, and the other ones go through his chest, and you nail him and you drop him out. And yes.
I was banking on having to use my evasion skill when he charged at me.
Yeah, I was expecting to capitalize on a severe consequence or something.
Yep. But again, I will stress the point. You see him kind of thud to the ground. He kind of just falls off to the ground again, and then turns back into smoke, which sucks back into the ground. So the smoke kind of rises up towards the sky a little bit, and then sucks back into the ground. And
at this point, I'm used to it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen it. This is the third time.
There's enough weird things going on that
yes.
about
James,
super phasing.
what would be a person in Lolo that you would have recognized?
That isn't part of our long list of friends.
Exactly.
All right. At the sports shop where I bought all my pads and my cleats and my cup and stuff, there was the owner was a lady, and she was like in her late 30s, early 40s, but still totally hot. And so I'd flirt with her a lot. And I had secretly crushed on her when I was younger, like in when we first arrived and whatnot.
Okay. And her name was Mrs. Morris, Morris.
And I called her that too.
And she was
like, yeah, Mrs. Morris.
yeah.
Hi, Mrs. Morris.
This guy looked like Mrs. Morris's husband.
Oh,
Well,
I thought you were going to say
convenient.
this. And which one was this? The Charger?
Yes.
You're welcome.
Yeah. As he drops to the ground, it turns to smoke as the car still drives away, or truck drives away. I just call out to myself, does this mean Mrs. Morris is available?
That's awesome. And you
And then
see
the truck
this,
goes in a ditch and I fall.
you see this smoke finger come up from out of the ground, and it flips you the bird. Okay.
Does Jason's flipping the bird skill level up off of seeing post-mortem bird flippage?
What's +9? What's that? Is epic?
Everything past +8 is just legendary. Epic is +7.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right. Back to the scene here. James sees actually, Jason, give me a little bit of RP at this moment.
I think I'd kind of be standing there, like, looking at the Charger I just shot, kind of like still a little bit in shock by my actions. Still in the zone a little bit, not noticing the car slowly rolling away from me.
Okay. Jason, at that moment, you're going to see one of the mooks, the last mook that's in the scene here. He grabs a hold of the side of the bed, hops into the back of the truck, and lunges and throws a claw at you. Well, not really a claw, just his hand. He's going to try to, like, bludgeon you in the head.
All right.
And I'm going to roll him as active. Opposition. And so he jumps up into the truck and thuds out.
Jeez.
With
He
a
rolled
3.
good.
He rolled really good.
Well, I'm
Especially for a
assuming he's not
mediocre.
super coordinated. I'll dodge left, then juke back to the right, or juke left and dodge back to the right, and see if I can. Oh, I tie with him.
You tie with him. Okay, but you juked.
That would
you
mean
said you juked, so that adds another plus.
No. Not the, I already used that for the scene. The ability juke I used for the scene. The fluff was me trying to do my football player bullshit to not get caught.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I zigged when I should have zagged, and if we tie, technically what happens is he gets to create a boost for his next attack or defense. So it
Or
could be
a
something
minor
along
cost.
the lines of
Right. Yeah, so he
could succeed at a minor cost.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to be able to fate point that, right?
Yep. He could succeed at a minor cost.
If he succeeds at a
Yeah.
Oh, he could fate point too if he has an aspect. That's true.
That's true. Well, he is a mook, so he does not have an aspect. But, well, he does have aspects. He has the ones that I showed on there. He has
Violent.
Yeah,
He's violent. That's enough.
He's violent.
That's enough to capitalize on.
Well, let's do that then. I don't ever get to spend fate points. I'll drop one out there.
Fine.
And that'll put it up to a 5. Is there anything James would like to do? You still are pumped up.
I'm still pumped up, but I'm going to go ahead and absorb that hit. It'll be a 2-point stress.
2-point stress.
So I'm going to absorb that on my physical track. Is it my turn?
It is now your turn.
So he comes over me. I imagine he comes with like this wild overhand right claw mark, and I try to juke and it still catches me, but I step inside the pocket and I come with a firm right uppercut right into his jaw.
Okay.
Let me see.
Obstacle.
Is he stronger
0.
than me? Would he be considered stronger than me?
Oh, no, he's not. He's
All right.
straight, flat, mediocre. Mooks are straight, flat, mediocre.
Boom, 2.
2. So 2 shifts of damage.
Does he still have 2 armor? Or was that just the tongue guy?
Yeah. Okay. I'll kind of give this to you guys so you understand. All these creatures that you're encountering here have basically, it's kind of like an armor, but I'm calling it infused. And it basically gives them 2 stress boxes that you have to overcome. So he has a...
Even the mooks have 2 stress boxes?
Because they're infused, yes. It kind of functions like an armor that as you do damage to it, I check boxes off.
All right, so a quick question. Does this absorb 2 shifts of damage or 3 because the second box is counted as a 2?
He has no physical stress boxes or no mental stress boxes. He only has 2.
Right.
The
infused.
That 2 would check off his 2 stress box. If you fate pointed it, it could go more. So one hit from you can take out his 2 stress boxes. Yes.
All right, in that case, I'm going to go ahead and use pumped up.
Okay.
And bump that up to a 4 and just cram his jaw into his freaking nose. That sweet uppercut.
Uppercut.
And I imagine him stumbling backwards and out of the truck bed.
Right. Yeah, he
landing on his head, breaking his neck, and turning into smoke.
Perfect. Exactly. I was going to say, go ahead and give me some RP on what happens, what you do, and what happens to set the scene. Whoa.
Yeah, just knock his ass out of the truck, and I don't know if the big thing is dead. I would just turn to Jason and much more calmly, because it doesn't seem like we're under direct threat. I'll turn to him and say, if you shift it down and over to the left, it goes into 4-wheel drive.
Yep. Oh, come on.
Yep.
Back.
Yeah,
you guys are going to have a second here. The truck is going to just roll into a stoplight. And so as that's all happening there, James will have a second to where the truck just suddenly stops as it's going, it's 5 miles an hour, and rolls into the, not a stoplight, but the pole, the stoplight pole.
Right, the sudden stop of the impact.
Right. Now, just as you're stopped at that point there, because you're now facing towards the northwest direction. That is the pole that well, the northwest corner of the intersection is where the truck stopped, and Jason is a little, 3 or 4 steps back from there. He's still on a roll, but at that moment, you're going to hear the what was it again? Darn it. The groaning noises coming from the west intersection as you see two more sets of mooks come into sight. Did I do that right? I didn't. Darn it. I'm having issues today. Sorry, guys. Hold on one second here.
I'm going to once again encourage my brother to drive.
Drive. Get back in the car and drive. But at that moment also, oh, dang it. I got my things all messed up. There we go. You notice something approaching. Okay, these mooks are obviously been drawn to all the noise that's going on. The gunshots and everything like that are drawing them in. They're hearing the noises and all this stuff is happening. You see these 2 sets of mooks, another set of these guys coming in at you, and then you see somebody moving up behind them. And James is in the back of the truck, stopped, and Jason is in there. Give me some RP on what you guys are going to do when this all happens.
I'm going to sprint as fast as I can to try to get back inside the truck.
Okay.
Yeah.
James?
I stand back up, but in a way to brace myself, so if he starts driving, I'm not going to fall out. And I just squint in that direction and try to tell. It seems odd that there's one person. Do they not walk like a deranged zombie?
The one person? No.
I rolled a notice 3.
Okay. James
see if I notice anything.
And he sees Corlana moving in very, very quickly towards both sets of mooks.
And she looks sentient, like she's on an intercept course to attack, or what?
Yes. And she is carrying this.
A katana! It better be a fucking katana. What the hell?
What the hell?
Corlana,
oh my God,
her little short self, is carrying a hammer and a shield, like a one-handed hammer and then a shield, a strong metal shield.
It's fucking Wonder Woman. We found Wonder Woman.
You found Wonder Woman.
Okay.
I'm going to give you guys each one action you can do at this moment.
Well, I see her. She's running over there. She's armed. I kind of think to myself, I didn't know she was into LARPing. But I also, I've always kind of.
LARPing is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's seen that movie about LARPing, that comedy movie.
Yeah.
But anyways, I see her, and I've always sort of, thought she was attractive. And you know how guys can't help it if they think someone's attractive, they have to run to their aid.
Mm-hmm.
So I grab my shotgun and just leap out of the back of the truck, and I'm on a beeline towards the creatures that she's running towards, because I don't want to see her fight them alone. That would somehow detract from my masculinity.
Okay. Jason, what are you going to do? What does Jason do?
I'm hopping in the car and getting ready to get the hell out of there.
Okay. Restarting the car up, getting it in defensive position.
Do you know? Roll a notice to see if you notice that I left.
That's right.
I can get the car ready to go and try to pick you up. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh
my god.
Well,
turns back.
I think you're in the bed of the truck still, and I'm getting the fuck.
Jason turns back and says out through the window, James, we're getting out of here. Let's go. Okay.
Got my communication stumped out and ran away.
Yeah. All right. You are now going to see a scene that is going to open up before you. Do. Oh, sorry, I got her over here. Deep. Derp. Corlana comes rushing forward, and she just headlong goes right into these two sets of mooks and begins a whole entire tirade of swinging her hammer, smashing with shields, blocking claws. Whole melee is going on here before James can even get over there. And she is just smashing the snot out of these mooks perfectly. She's executing everything she's doing. Go ahead.
Can I roll my athletics
expecting to happen
to get there and at least hit one of them before they're all gone?
Let's put that as a single roll contest. Your athletics versus Corlana's fight. Go ahead.
Is this the same scene or a new scene since the combat ended?
Well, this is kind of still a part of the same scene.
Huh.
Same scene, right. Because everything is still happening in the same scene. Yes. Athletics 3.
Right. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm a cocky, highly talented athlete with big aspirations.
Yes, you are.
I get there in time.
Okay, so that makes that into a 5. Well,
and I don't shoot like as she's going through him, she's beating him, and I run over there, and right as she turns around, I come up and just throw that same mean right hook that I like to throw
no, hold on
crank it in the side of the head.
Not yet. Because Corlana, is going to invoke her aspect. I hate the Anunnaki. And bumps her up to a 6.
Let's see. Don't think, just got to get the job done.
Okay. That will push you up above her so that you can now portray your scene out. Go ahead.
There
is one or two. Yeah, one or two mooks left.
I imagine I come running up and spear one mook into the other mook, and they both fall down. And then I get down on one and do a little bit of ground and pound where I punch him in the head, and I go over to the other one and soccer kick him to make sure he's down. And I turn back around to her and I say, "Are you okay?"
Okay. Before you can turn around to her and say you're okay, let's see if you can actually defeat these two mooks, get past their infusement. So go roll 2 fight rolls.
I just wasted so many fate points, and you're still going to make me work for it.
Well, you got to get past her infusement. Okay, so the first one that you were saying you were doing with, you smash him, but he's not quite out yet. The second one, you smash him and do quite well with. At that same second, since you are out of fate points, you see the first one, you see Corlana's hammer come down upon its head and just smash it to pieces. And then you see Corlana standing before you. And she looks
then
at you and
after
says,
kicking the
James.
crap out of the other one,
yeah.
and then I ask her, "Are you okay?"
She's like, okay, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
Good question. She kind of
Does she
stops
say
back
that?
for a second, and she, you see this expression come across her face, like she wasn't expecting that question to come out at all, and you can see that she's kind of searching for what. We should get rid of these mooks too. What to say, how to answer that question. What does James do?
I'm just staring. I'm staring at her intently as she goes through her stuff, and I could say, "How about some honesty? Because where did you get the Wonder Woman weaponry? I mean, what's going on here?"
She kind of looks at her hammer and her shield, and she's like, ugh. And she's taking a second to try to figure out how in the world, where to start, how she's going to explain anything to this.
Are all aliens as short as you?
Oh, you say aliens?
No,
And she'll get out. Oh, no. But are you going to say short and aliens to her?
No. I just
Okay.
basically asked her what's going on and how about a little bit of honesty, because I could tell she was being squirrely and searching for alternative fact.
Yep. And she's going to turn to you and go, James, I don't think you quite understand the full nature of what's going on here. Jason, at this time, you're going to realize that James is not in the truck. And you're going to turn back as you look in the bed, and you're going to see a bleeding D in the back of the truck.
I'm going to yell to James that, James, we got to get D to a hospital.
Cutting out. What did she say to me? Like, I just popped back in and...
Oh, you did? Okay, I'm sorry. She explains to you, says, James, I don't think you understand the complete weight of what is happening here. And then all of a sudden, Jason said what to James? Because he turns around and looks in the back of the bed of the truck as he's pulling the truck out and sees just a bleeding D, unconscious bleeding D back there.
I'm going to yell that we need to get D to the hospital.
It's like, James, we need to get D to the hospital.
My eyes go wide and they shoot up. And I was like, do you know anything about... D is pretty fucked up. We saved her from one of the smokers.
She's like, oh, D's hurt? Where is she?
Yeah.
Okay. James, make me a notice check. Since you are distracted now by Jason and the situation now going on with D, and you're in this conversation with Corlana,
I don't
obstacle
notice.
2. You
I
don't
don't
notice. Okay. Okay. Just at that second, you don't notice what's going on.
These... Hilarious. A second, you don't notice.
You don't notice what's going on. Because you're turned back towards Jason and say, we got to get over there. And then Corlana's saying this stuff to you. And then she kind of gets this interesting look that goes across her face. And
Is that another charger?
No.
Oh, it's a P1 now instead of a C1.
You see this. So at a certain point where Corlana is going to get that expression across her face, James is going to kind of realize something is off. And he sees some smoke dissipating from out behind Corlana. And you see this. And at that second, from James not noticing, the smoke forms into a female-shaped creature. And at the same second, you see its arm move back, and then it thrusts forward into Corlana's back, just as she gets a serious expression across her face and begins turning and swinging the hammer at it. But then all of a sudden you see the hammer. The hammer seems to connect with the shoulder of the smoke entity, just as you see her chest lurch forward as if something was just shoved right into her chest, and she lets out a big gasp of, and then the hammer strikes true, and then this wailing sound springs forth and pierces the night air. And then you see the smoke entity, the smoke just dissipates, and Corlana drops her hammer and falls down upon her shield.
I turn back to Jason. I say, "You wanted sword and sorcery. Well, here you go."
What does James do? And so then the creature is no longer there anymore. And Corlana is flopping to the ground, and she kind of flops over onto her side, and James can see her back, but sees no physical evidence of any sort of a damage done to her. And then you hear...
I just exclaim, "Well, shit!"
Yeah. And you hear Corlana go, "Damn it, James."
That was totally not my fault. Do you need me to carry you?
She's like,
"Throw her in the trunk with the other one. Let's go."
Just when I was liking this body.
What?
And she starts
I was
coughing.
liking your body too.
Okay. Basically,
I scoop her up, put her on my shoulder, and we're in shield, and I start like running towards the truck. And I would hope that the truck is coming to meet me.
Yes, the truck is coming to you.
Okay. You're gonna throw her in the back of the truck and hop in and start heading where?
To Operation Alamo.
Okay.
No, we have to go get the other guy. Or what do you want to do? I'm
think
saying
we gotta
all
go to
this
the
in character.
hospital.
You got it. Yeah.
I think we gotta go to the hospital first.
You're in this situation. You got two badly hurt friends. James, by looking at him, will notice that Corlana is in a worse state now than Dee is. You need to get them both medical attention right away. But James would kind of see the mannerisms of Corlana. She's not going to make it. But you need to get Dee medical attention, because you'll look back at her arm and the little kind of tourniquet thing you did. Well, you did a really, really poor job, and it's still bleeding out.
Yeah, I think we gotta go to the hospital.
So it looks like Corlana's going to die.
Corlana is going to die.
All right. In that case, I'll kind of sit in the corner of the bed of the truck with my head in my hands and get a little distant as I watch her slowly die, knowing there's nothing I can do for her. Even though I see no signs of damage, it just, her soul is bleeding out or some shit.
Okay. James, make me. Let's see. Let's find it. Make me a rapport roll.
And what is the parameters to this rapport roll?
You are going to be determining, there you go, how many questions you can ask Corlana before she will die.
What's your bra size?
Okay, that's one. She'll tell you that her bra size is.
I would say.
Put it in some RP sensor.
Why could you?
You're now holding Corlana. Corlana's blonde hair and her blue eyes are looking up at you. And she's just kind of going, James. It's like she needs to tell you something. And she's like trying to get your attention. And she knows that she's dying.
All right, I lean down to listen to what she has to say without framing it as a question.
Okay. She's like, I don't know when I'll be back, but you need to find my scrolls. Find my scrolls. Take my hammer, take my shield, keep him safe, but find my scrolls. That's what she says.
Where
questions.
do I look? Where do I look for the scrolls?
Okay, that's not a part of one of your questions, but she'll explain to you that you need to find her scrolls at her apartment.
Okay. Does she tell me the apartment number finally?
No.
What is your apartment number?
Okay, there you go. That can be one of your questions. Okay, that's one. What is your apartment number? And she will tell you that her apartment number. Let me get the floor plan. Her apartment number is number 804 on the end.
All right.
Okay.
Your apartment number is 804.
That's one question.
And then I will ask her, what did that thing do to you that you are in such bad shape?
And she'll explain to you, she'll say that Anunnaki devil crushed my heart.
So you were in love with it? I'm confused.
No, she's saying it in a physical thing. It reached into her body and crushed her heart.
I don't get it. And I don't get it. That was my last question. So I'm like, wait, you were in love with it?
So you're in love with it? And she'll kind of turn to you and, James, you're such an idiot. And then she dies.
And then words. Yeah, your final last words, James, you're such an idiot. They're like, what? I don't understand. And I shake her.
Okay. Just as you shake her, she's lifeless and limp and everything now.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of shaking around. Hey, I don't understand. You see something fall out of her ear.
Is it yellow and malleable?
Oh, that's so cute.
What the fuck? A gecko?
It is a small, tiny reptilian creature. And you can see...
Is it gone?
Yeah,
or do I get to hold it in my hand like that?
No. That's just... The hand was to represent its size. It comes out of her ear canal. Flops in the back of the truck... and then just tears off. but it gets to the edge of the bed of the truck, to the back, what's the gate of the truck, and it turns around and looks directly at James, and lifts up one of its little I don't know what reptiles paws
Hands,
arms are called.
hand.
Yeah, one of its arms lifts up its hand and flips you the bird and jumps.
Yeah. Go. It's just a bug.
It's just a bug.
Yeah, she saw a bug and she's a girl.
True. So it flips you the bird and jumps out of the truck as you guys are speeding.
Would I be able to correlate that is the consciousness of Corlana? Although I am stupid, I might not put that together. But in a meta sense, was that Corlana's conscience? Okay.
Yes.
Because she was saying about a body and whatnot.
Now, okay, in a meta sense in here, and just kind of providing you guys some player information, because I think if Jason, when James would explain what happened to Jason being the smarter one and the one that's more lore-oriented and understanding and investigative and stuff like that, would kind of...
I learned about this in biology.
Yeah. Would make the connection that Uncle Justice had explained to you at some time that there was a race of reptilian creatures that lived in the center of the earth named the Iridian.
I do remember him mentioning reptile shit a long time ago.
Yep. And you pronounce it like this.
Iridine.
Iridine? No, Iridine.
They go in people's ears?
Iridine. And that was something that Uncle Justice had talked to you about. But from the things that he explained to you that there were human-sized creatures that were reptilians that lived in the center of the earth, and that they were the enemy of the Anunnaki and wanted to, were here, always there to, their sole enemy was the Anunnaki, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
Oh, we got to get rid of Corlana. Corlana's gone.
She's still there.
Yeah, her body's still there. Flipping the bird.
That's fucked
so
up.
Corlana gives you a legendary flipping the bird. I should actually give her aspect, flipping the bird.
It's funny. You wanted to sacrifice Dee's consciousness to Corlana's lizard. What a dick.
I wanted to sacrifice what?
I wasn't going to do that. I was suggesting you maybe could do that.
Matt was preparing to sacrifice his in-game girlfriend.
We're just friends. She has a new boyfriend who we're going to skip
That's
saving
true,
because we're taking her to the hospital.
What a jerk.
So, I no longer think that Corlana's technically dead because the little lizard showed too much intelligence and she said the new body. And so I contextually sort of understand what's going on, but I am sort of bummed out that I had a hots for a lady who is actually a lizard.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
And I talked through the little open square window and I'm like, Jason, shit's getting a little weird, man.
Just a little.
Just a little. Now, where are you guys heading as you're having this conversation?
To the hospital.
You're going to go to the hospital?
I would think so.
Okay.
In a meta sense, I think this is a terrible idea because it's going to be full of zombies. But in character, I'm not smart enough to say that.
That's true.
I don't think either of us are skilled enough to stop these bleeding.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you some information here because I'm sure you guys didn't remember from session 1, back when we explained all this. Your mother was a nurse.
Oh. Then we'll go back to our house.
Okay. Yeah, I would think it would make more sense that. Okay, you've now seen.
Oh,
two
that's
people.
right. I did.
What? Oh, you cut out, Voth.
Oh, I said I didn't remember that she was a nurse. I would totally take her to mom.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either.
Yep. So, and also I think you guys would realize that you've seen now two people that you can identify from their attire that are from the city of Lolo. That being Russell Garlock, the gas station attendant, and John Morris, the husband of Mrs. Morris that James has the hots for. You've seen two people in there.
Yeah.
So there would be no question of, for some reason, these freaking creatures are, coming out here. And you don't know what would be at the hospital.
Yeah.
And since
The hospital
James
would be
wasted
bad.
his 2 questions on pointless things.
Unless we just want to go on a zombie killing spree, hospital's probably not the way to go.
Right.
Yep.
At that point there, is James now trying to attend to D by the time you can get back? Let's go back up because this scene's over. So those zones are gone. All the boosts are gone and everything. You guys are now driving back to home, right?
Home.
Yes. What is James doing? Because you're now, I'm sure you got Corlana's body in the back of the truck, her lifeless body. D is there, still bleeding out. You would notice that your tourniquet was put on poorly, and that your wrappings on there are not. Let's say you get down to about right here.
I get back to the house and my mom is like, "You're supposed to put the tourniquet on the arm that's bleeding."
Well, we can retcon that unless you would like to try to do something, again. Maybe now Jason can explain things a little bit better to James to
Jason
interpret.
could try to do something.
I can
Jason
try
could
to explain it better, but I can't promise that'll actually happen.
Yeah.
We should just get home as quick as possible.
Okay.
Yeah,
'cause
I'll
there's-
just be driving, but yelling small things too.
Okay. There
But
are no
the main focus is on driving home.
Yeah, there are no cars on the road. It's an open highway. There are no cars coming, no cars going.
Get home
So
pretty
you just
quickly
want to
then.
blaze home.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
You're in the recon truck, jacked up recon truck, and are you pushing it? Let's see. Maybe you are pushing it. Yeah, because this is teenage priorities. You got to get there quick. So I'm going to compel Matt that you
To drive dangerously.
Yeah, because of your teenage priorities, you're going to put the pedal to the metal to get home as quickly as possible.
Because of your teenage priorities, you're going to put your other priorities in harm's way.
Yep. D, the one that you tried to kill, but then keep, flip flopping.
Hey, I didn't hit her with
I
the
would.
car. I
I know.
avoided it.
Okay, go ahead, Voth.
I would suggest that you try to create an advantage by having an iron will to assist you in your horrible driving.
Yep. James, I'm going to compel your teenage priorities also. That
Okay.
while you're here blazing along in the truck, that you're going to try to figure out some sort of way to take care of D.
Can I roll will to create like a...
Hold on a second. So for James, you can kind of look at that. You don't think D's going to make it by the time James can get back there. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a comparative drive roll from Jason to a comparative shoot roll. A comparative. What kind of skill would James like to use for? I guess it's just lore, isn't it? Yeah. It's going to be your
No,
mediocre.
fuck lore, man. I'm going to use physique to try and tighten the belt as tight as I can above the area that's bleeding profusely. I mean, it's idiot. It's idiot level doctoring. You could tell a chimpanzee to put a tourniquet on.
Okay.
And I roll a 1 physique. I'm worn out.
Okay. And James, make your drive. Okay. We'll leave it at that.
Bitch is dead.
No. Your physique, your idiot level thinking is going to, by the time he can get back to the house, you have done enough to be able to stem to make it to where your mom can take care of it. Now, informational wise, as you guys are driving along, you are seeing strange shadows out in the night again through the moonlight and stuff, and it sort of looks like this. So you're seeing human forms in your peripheral vision. They seem to be watching and following you, but when you have line of sight looking at them, there's nothing there.
I'm gonna make sure that not only the normal lights are on, but like throw on the brights, and if the off-road truck has any other lights, just make
Running
sure there's
lights.
lots of lights.
Spotlights, all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you guys will make it back to the house just fine. No incidents. And you get mom gets Dee into the house. They're able to get her, the blood stemmed and flowed and get things taken care of. It's kind of a chaotic scene at the Lambert home at that point. And so I'm going to drop the D&D procuring plan because that kind of has been overcome, but not totally completely, unless we just want to rename it. But I think dropping it would be the best because that was the whole thing there. And so in a sense you have overcome
Well, we didn't get the other D.
Yeah, it kind of depends if we want to drop her off and go back out.
It's true. It's up to you guys.
I think we need to drop her off and go back out because I'm not helping this situation with her at all. Yeah. And I also got a cool new hammer and shield.
He is still...
and the body of Corlana,
she can stay in the truck for now.
Yep. Now I'm going to
have him on our priority list, like our friend priority list.
Yeah. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to compel James that don't think and just get the job done. You're going to necrophilia Corlana's body.
What? Shut up. No, gross.
That was bad.
That was horrible.
Horrible. Disgusting. Okay. Okay, go ahead, James. Jason, what's going on?
I think we'd probably go back out for David since he's on our priority list and we know what kind of trouble there is out there now. Kind
of important. He's our hacker guy, and we know where he is. There's nothing. Yep. Like I was tempted to go try to find him while we were out, but since this bitch was dying, we had to take her back, and now we're gonna just get right back out to it.
Yep.
So I could imagine the scene would go like, emergency, she's bleeding everywhere, and then while everyone's all circled around her, me and him just slip back out without anyone noticing, because they would try to stop us and ask us questions.
Okay. I am going to give you guys a little bit of information here that as they're working on D and get her stabilized before you guys can head out there and do all that you're talking about, that you'll have kind of a scene moment there to where she'll wake up and share some information with you guys. And this is kind of important for when you guys go back out again too. Okay. And she'll basically kind of share this information with you as she kind of wakes up from her being knocked unconscious, and kind of looks and catches sight of James and Jason. And then she will, let's see here. She will explain to you guys before she passes out again, and then you guys are heading out the door, that it seemed like they were looking for them. Everybody was looking for them now.
Yeah.
Because, and you'll come to the realization that you had been telling everybody in town that when they come across somebody who is not infused, to let you know. The princes let the princes know. Even though they had been given orders to get them and then take them to the king, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had been given contrary orders to that fact, and that you had talked to Miss McKinney, which was Dee's mother, who really wants Dee to receive the gift, and then received orders from the princes that you need to go out, that they need to, if they come across any infused, to bring them to you. Well, they spread the words amongst the community, and everybody was looking for him. So
now we have them all actively looking.
Yes. But
Good.
I would think that you guys in this situation come to this realization, considering that it was your catalyst that caused Dee to be in this situation, and that she's on your priority list as an important person, that I need you guys to make a will save or will check against an obstacle 2 before you go out.
All right. I hit it. Oh, there it goes.
No.
0.
I'm also going to consume the late night rendezvous on that to bump that up to an obstacle 4. That late night rendezvous cost to make that to an obstacle 4.
So essentially, I have to take 4 points of
mental stress, yes. Because you're going to come to the realization that you had been the catalyst of the problem. Now, Jason, you're taking 2 shifts of mental stress. And James, you're doing 4.
Fate point that?
You can.
Mr. Mind Games has a taste for vengeance, so instead of being like taking stress, it just makes me more active to get back out and take vengeance on them.
Okay. Well, what you'll do is you will succeed because you tie it at a minor cost.
Okay.
I think we should determine what that minor cost would be. I guess it could be a consequence. Couldn't it? Couldn't it be a mild consequence, Voth? Or is it like an aspect?
No, I would in this sense where he's tying it,
Yeah.
to create a the cost, the success it cost. Like
Mhm.
in this case, like it's forced stress, and he negated it. It doesn't make a whole ton of sense to then make him take a mild consequence. Otherwise he may as well have not done that and just taken 2 stress. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay.
So I would probably say, I mean, if you could think of a way to change the situation or maybe create an aspect or something like that, that could be the cost.
Okay.
But if you're
Hold on one
basically
second. Hey guys,
forcing
hold
him
on one
to
second.
still
Hold on.
take.
Hmm?
He had to go AFK for a second.
Yeah, sorry about that. I
Oh, no
thought
problem.
someone was banging on my door, and I was like, "What in the world?" I'm not expecting anybody. Anywho,
Anywho.
oh, hold on one second, guys. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, I'm back now. Woo!
Welcome back.
Yeah, things get in the way, I tell you. Tuesday mornings. Okay,
Real life.
real life. Oh, so much fun. Okay, so where do we leave off at? Mental stress. So, Voth, you were thinking that it shouldn't just carry over because he covered up a 4.
Yeah, if he covered the 4, like if you wanted it to,
Well, he could also consume the something is not right, or you could consume that too, because that's a boost that's still out there from the whole situation that's going on.
that's true. It just reduced me to a two
Yeah.
point stress. I'll consume something's not right.
Okay.
But in terms of him reaching the 4 threshold,
Mm-hmm.
um, it if it's just 4 stress, it doesn't make a lot of sense to have him consume the 4 threshold and then succeed at a cost of receiving stress. You know what I mean? It's
Oh, true. True.
a pointless transaction there. So if
So,
I would just let him slide at taking no stress
okay.
and maybe just creating an aspect on the game that says best laid plans or some shit like that that implies that things can backfire or something.
Okay.
Or the other
Um,
option is you could say that this is going to cause you 3 stress plus 1 per fail. You know what I mean? So then I would have actually taken 7, and he would take 3 at this point, which is how I
Okay.
was doing it in the game that we played, the World War II game.
Right.
Is that stresses would be inflicted in a block, and then per fail it could be more, or so on and so forth. So if you tied, you would still receive 3 stress.
Oh, really? Okay. No, yeah, I don't think I want to do that. I think I'll keep it more just kind of the core, the fate core.
Yeah. In that case, this is one of the cases where you just throw the tie rule out. This isn't really a case where you could say tying is success at a minor cost, or that tying creates a boost, or anything like that. It's just, you just negated 4 points of stress.
Yeah, because I just did the standard overcome. So if you tie, you obtain your goal and get what you want after, but at a minor cost. So I like the idea of putting some sort of aspect out there or a cost out there that I can invoke as the GM, like I did for this one, according to that.
Yeah, you wanted to.
Yeah, something like best laid plans ? Or what was the stress that you put up on James there? You put up the 2 shifts of stress there. What was the what did you put that aspect?
I consumed something's not right, and reduced it to 2.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm
And
just trying to think wording wise for my cost what to put it at. And I was trying to figure out, because you had a consequence that you put up on James there before you consumed it.
Oh,
how did you word it?
I worded it like, we've got to think this through, or something like that. Or no, I was questioning my decisions, is what I think I put.
Okay. All right, let me think of a way to put this aspect out here.
How about just call it second guessing ourselves?
Oh, that could be second guessing.
Because basically that's what happened. We're thought we made this genius plan, and then it backfired, so now we're second guessing ourselves.
Second guessing, yeah. Guessing doesn't look right. How do you spell guessing? Guessing?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. That'll be the minor cost, something that I can invoke against you guys. And we'll take D&D procuring plan. Oh, no, because you're still trying to go there now. You got D, so I'm going to change this aspect to David.
To D?
Don't. I was going to say, don't leave it just
plan.
1D.
Yeah. You just want 1D because that would be kind of confusing. D procuring plan.
No, because procuring the D would mean we're looking for dick.
I never would have even thought that.
What the kids are saying.
Matt clearly did.
That's right. Okay. So let's, you're going out the same exact night to head back up to the Atkins. Okay. Let's cliffhanger right there because it's past, 10:30
it is
my time and 11:30 your guys' time. So I'm going to put your little, the Atkins, we have the flag up there already. So the flag at the top of Atkins is the place where you're going for the David procuring plan. And then the flag at the little field. Oh, someone's here. Hold on a second.
Seems like MJ's having a busy afternoon.
Like he has a job or something.
Yep.
Man, right at the end. That was the mailman.
Ah.
Yep. Anywho, I just got some new books in. Got some cool books. All right. So the Atkins is the one for procuring David. The field is the other one for the King's Public Assembly that's happening in 2 days. And then the Holt one is for acquiring the weapons stash. Now, you're in the night now, still here, so you probably have a few more hours before you probably need to come home and rest, unless you guys want to push on and then do the big long trip with Jonathan to get you to the weapons stash. If you decide you don't want to do the weapons stash, that's fine. If you decide you don't want to overcome the King's Public Assembly, that's fine too. It's all, guys. It's up to you. At this point, you've just decided you need to go up to the Atkins and get David.
Yeah. That's the working plan as of yet.
Yep. Okay. Sounds like a plan. We will cliffhanger right there for your journey heading back up.
Well, we were mostly successful. I mean,
Yeah.
Corlana died. We got Dee back, and I don't think she's going to have to be an amputee.
Nope.
There was a couple things that could have gone very poorly that didn't. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now,
I was surprised how quickly the big guy went down. I was like ready to like waste ammo on him and stuff, and you just one shot him.
You just went to, because it boosted.
Kind of surprised as well.
You got that 10 that just blew him away.
Yeah, I mean, I did hit him with an 11 when he wasn't expecting, but
yeah. Well, and for player information, you'll know that these creatures that you're coming into contact with are they're going to all have those 2 stress boxes for their infusement to overcome. Some of them are average NPCs, some of them are fair NPCs, and some of them are good NPCs. Then there are also bosses that will come out that will be much, much more. Okay?
Yeah.
And then there's, all that kind of fun stuff. But you should know that the infusement to these regular NPCs give them the 3 stress for that functions kind of like an armor. But then there are, just like I said before, there are other ones too that may have higher infusement levels. But for these ones you've come into so far, the Grappler, you know that he has the 3 infusement. The Mooks, you know that they have the 3 infusement. And then the Charger has the 3 infusement too, but then he also did have some stress that he could, mental, let's see, what did he have? He had mental and physical stress that he had to check off. But since Jason's headshot blew him to pieces, was pretty darn good. I mean, you had what, 10?
11.
11? Yeah.
11.
That was pretty amazing. Consumed all those boosts, so that was great. It was great. You had your moment to shine. Okay. Let me make sure, because I think we actually completed 3 or 4 questions. Let me make sure. Okay, this one I think you would understand. The question was, are the people of Lolo still human? What would you guys say to that?
Negatory?
Human,
correct,
but possessed?
Right.
Human looking, and that's what I'm leaving it at.
The more thing I think I wanted you to come out with this question was, what are they like during the day and what are they like during the night? You made that connection, right?
I hadn't until
During
now,
During the day, they're super nice, happy-go-lucky people who like to serve. And at night, they grow long tongues and stone arms and shit like that.
And crazy stuff like that. Okay, great. Now you made the connection, Matt. And then then also you made the connection of the gas attendant. That was supposed to be the one that's showing you that during the day you would see him in his little uniform, and during the night you saw him in his uniform, but he was modified or whatever into this
And a
creature.
boss
old lady crush.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the next question is Corlana human?
The body was, but there was something inside of her.
Correct.
Which kind of makes me think that the Iridians aren't that great either, because that meant they supplanted somebody's consciousness and took it over.
Correct.
So that is, in effect, a murder.
Correct.
But they gave you a nice hammer and shield.
That's true.
And plus, what other information did she provide for you? Oh, and there was one key. Okay, dang it. I keep missing all the key things that you need to know. In that fight, before you left, we'll say when you guys were driving off away from the fight, you looked back at the two groups of mooks that, you beat up on the one guy and knocked him out, and then he turned to smoke. But the one that you hit and the other ones that Corlana was taking out did not turn to smoke.
Oh, they didn't?
Have
No.
to try to capture one of these guys.
Did catch Paul, drive through with the rogue.
Yeah, they did not turn to smoke. They just died.
Okay.
The ones that turn to smoke regenerate and come back, and the ones
Yeah, they
that
kind of
just
turn to
die.
smoke and start fading up, and then suck back down into the earth.
You're a murderer, Law.
Yep.
On that note, I do need to get running, though.
Okay.
I am freaking starving.
Starving Marvin. All right, cool. We'll shoot for next week.
Yep.
All right. I will
That was
definitely see you then.
Yep.
Same time, same channel.
Talk to you on the
guys
forums.
later.
Yep.
All right. Later.